Ever since the launch of DC All In, we have felt that DC has been all in producing quality comic books for us all. But the question that we've had is what's next? What's the next event? What's the next big story arc that's going to take us to the next phase of DC's plans? And this week, DC Comics Solicits blew the door off of their future plans, getting ahead of San Diego Comic-Con to tell us exactly what we can expect coming in the fall, which is the era, DC's era. They are going to be delivering some major comics, and we know the names of the two big things we need to be looking at: Absolute Evil and DCKO. This is the big stuff, guys. I cannot wait to talk about this. And of course, to have this conversation, we've got some big pals on deck. We've got Marco,
Celsius.
Tyler.
I was gonna say Fahrenheit, but that's even worse. So
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
that's bad.
And joining us for the first time, we have known to you all as Flo Dameron, aka Nightwing Stan, also known as Chris, Slow Flo Dameron. Chris, what is going on, man? How are you?
What is up? This is an absolute honor. I could check this off my bucket list, along with being on the news one time as one of those like correspondents. So appreciate it. Excited to talk comics. One of my favorite shows ever. So thank you for having me.
You were on the
You're
news?
very welcome.
Yeah, there's like a car accident on the corner, and when they were asking people, "Hey, what happened here?" I just like ran out. I was like, "I saw everything." Like,
okay.
I just had to get that off. I just always wanted to be on the news. So
Nice,
it's
nice.
actually, if you look at my Discord photo, it's actually me being interviewed on the news.
Cool.
Awesome.
Chris has an awesome YouTube channel that he runs and operates, and it's doing pretty well. That's Nightwing Stan, is it not?
Yeah. Mainly started to talk about like DC stuff that I was really excited about right before Absolute and All In. So I'm excited that all these things have been going on. It's been hard to drop a book these days at DC, which is really good, and I always switching what my favorite DC book is depending on the day of the week. So excited about all that stuff, and it's been cool to be able to cultivate a community and be able to talk comics.
Awesome. Well, Chris is going to hang out with us today. We told you guys we would have guest pals, and Chris is one of them. And so let's give him some love. Some of you have asked, "Oh, we want listeners on the show. We want, hey, we got one on the show. This Chris is
I
a
listen.
listener. He just also happens to be a YouTuber."
One of the few guests we've met in person too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the few guests we've met in person.
I'm trying to think. Like we haven't.
Met all kinds of people in person.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't leave my house often though, Sean. So
Fair enough.
it's a rare near Comic Con appearance.
Thank you to everybody who is here live with us so far. Make sure you guys smash the like button as we get into things. I know you guys are always excited about DC, and we're going to talk a lot about DC today because they really let it all hang out ahead of San Diego Comic-Con. So let's start with Absolute Evil. Now, I know that Absolute Evil is not technically an event, but it feels like a very, very important issue that we cannot look past. So we're going to start with this, and then we're going to talk about KO, which is more of the event piece of this. And so Absolute Evil is a one shot that is written by Al Ewing, which is a very exciting piece of this. It's got art by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Stefano Nessi. Camuncoli, one of my favorites. So what this looks like to me, I'll just read you the solicit first. In Absolute Evil, Ra's al Ghul, Veronica Cale, Hector Hammond, and Eleanor Thawne, and the mysterious Joker are no longer working at cross purposes. Together, they're aligned, united, and dangerous. But an insidious betrayal from within threatens to unravel everything they've built. This one-shot special issue features the introduction of not one, but two major absolute characters who will change the course of the absolute universe in its second year, and it is unmissable for all fans of this red hot publishing line. So all the villains from the absolute titles are going to get together, have a chit chat, very similar to Marvel's Cabal.
Mm.
And it looks like they've got some nasty plans for the heroes of the absolute universe.
And so it's a one shot written by Al Ewing and kind of recontextualizing who all these villains are in the current Absolute universe. It sounds like it might be a one and done. Not just because it's a one shot, but because like even this list, it's like yeah, and things go bad. So I wonder if this is gonna like tease like a Legion of Doom situation and realize like it just doesn't work for this world. I don't know. Do we know who the artist is on this?
Giuseppe
Camicoli. Okay,
Yeah,
it is
Camicoli,
Camicoli.
yeah.
and Stefano Nessi.
Okay. I think that's a good combo to have. Camicoli, did he do? Oh, I'm getting my Italians mixed up again. Who did the Brainiac, the Brainiac issue of Superman, Absolute Superman?
I don't know.
It was someone. It might have been Camicoli. But yeah, I really like Camicoli's art, so I dig this. I dig this.
It feels like they're coming out strong with a good creative team. So that's a good sign, first and foremost. I
Yeah.
think I feel like I've been more hesitant about having the absolute books feel like they're all in the same universe. They feel so distinct, and I know that's kind of built into the Ultimate line. But for this, I've enjoyed how separate everything feels and how distinct everything looks, and so um, I'm kind of glad actually that they're bringing in the villains and not necessarily our heroes because I want that to be prolonged as much as possible. And so, if this is the way to kind of connect the books, I'm hesitant just because I prefer the books to kind of stay separate. But at least they're doing an approach that I can get behind, which is introducing villains or having those be the players in this book and seeing how that kind of affects the rest.
Yeah, I'm excited because the cover also has a hint of Absolute Hawkman, which I'm excited about. There's that photo, and then also the books. Yes, they haven't been connected, but if you've read them like in detail, like there's hints of the Lazarus Corp in Absolute Flash, also Absolute Green Lantern, and it makes sense that the villains would be more connected in this universe, just because they are sort of like the elite and sort of like all the heroes are kind of coming up. So I'm interested to read it, and I really liked the All In special last year. I felt like that was the event last year and not Absolute Power. So I feel like that's going to be the same thing with KO and Absolute Evil. I'm probably going to be paying more attention to Absolute Evil than KO.
That's why I really wanted to make sure we talked about this and
Mhm.
talked about it on the level of KO because they specifically said establishing, sort of charting the course for the next year of absolute books. And if this is anything on the level of All In Special, which I'm sure it won't be as big of a deal, but the fact that they're touting it this way makes me feel like you cannot miss this issue if you're a fan of the absolute books.
Appointment, yeah.
And, and that
And
I was gonna say
um,
that Hawkman shout on the Hawkman like it's his last name, that Hawkman shout on the cover. It's interesting because it's the only Polaroid that's not ripped. So I'm wondering if he is the driving heroic force behind this issue. If there's one character that can use a full-on retooling, it might be Hawkman. So that could be interesting to do, and especially like Al Ewing tackling that sort of thing. Exciting.
Go ahead, Marco.
yeah, I'm just wondering how these some of these characters are gonna play into it, um, especially Martian Manhunter. 'Cause I feel like that's the least like super heroic of it. You know, like it is very much just he's having an existential crisis and figuring his shit out. So curious how like is it the white alien that's in cahoots here?
Well, it's weird. Like if you look at the cover where it's all hands, right? Um, most of these villains are suits,
Yeah.
which is a real like I guess modern interpretation of what a villain is. that the Absolute Universe is kind of showcasing. Like the only one that looks like there's only two that look like they can be not suits, and it's possibly Brainiac's hand and Bane's hand. It looks like, um, but that's just an interesting interpretation of how these villains are becoming. You know, you have Veronica Cale, you have this billionaire Joker, and Hector Hammond. A lot of the villains are just big money people, which like hello real life. So it's interesting to see how this comes about because they're gonna need some muscle. Um, because it's a comic book, you know.
Two of those, because there's 7 hands, and we don't know all those names. We only know we know 5 out of 7. We know Raish, Veronica Cale, Hector Hammond, Eleanor Thawne, and Joker, but there's 2 that we don't know. So that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that green monster looking hand.
Well, Brainiac's on the Riley Rosmo cover, so I was extrapolating from there, but everyone's on the Riley Rosmo cover, so who knows?
And I wonder if that sort of like secret person that breaks, you know, their thing and all that is one of those hands. I'm really interested. Like I said, I really like the All In special and how that really set up what we've had for the last year, not just in the Absolute Universe, but the mainline stuff. And again, I'm really excited to see what that Hawkman photo is, like what that character means to the universe.
I think it's also a
Hell yeah.
positive sign that they're touting this as the must-read book and that they're laying a foundation out. I feel like we've been getting, I feel like baited on the Ultimate side with you got to read this. This is gonna, be what we're projecting out for the future.
Dennis Camp literally baiting people on Twitter. Say like, oh, if you need to read this to understand the new movie. What?
So like, I have much more faith in this as a setting of direction for the next year, and especially knowing that they've touted from the beginning. They have 2 years of story. They have, they can see out into the future. They know where the things are going, and the team that they've brought on is ready for that. That's exciting. So this is a great setting of expectation as well.
Couple things. First of all, you guys may have noticed some new emojis that are available in the chat. We used some comics bucks to bring you guys some new emojis. These are for the channel members. So if you're a channel member, I want to see those in the chat. Uh, we've got a lot of new channel members just because of all the gift subs and a lot of you signing up on the sideline. So thank you for that. Use those new emojis, and we got more to come. If you guys enjoy them, we'll keep doing them. And then also the uh the top fans function finally came our way, finally landed on our channel. So I want to see who's going to be the number 1 chatter throughout today's show. Right now, Skeletonagi is number 2. Who's number 1? I don't see number 1. How could I
Who's
not
King?
see the
Who's
number
King
1 chatter?
Yapper?
Izzy's Issues joins the channel membership. Thank you, Izzy. Appreciate that. There they go. I see the new emojis now. There they are. Keep them coming.
Oh, Cosmic November, number 1.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I like it. Um, and then what else was I gonna tell you guys? Hit the like button. That's what I'll tell you. Hit the like button. So let's talk about DCKO. Now, Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson have been the architects of DC with this all-in special, with the Absolute Universe and everything. This is all their brainchild, so to speak. And they've announced the next step in this larger story that they've been telling through a video that some of you may have seen on DC's YouTube channel. They talked a lot about what we could expect. And so DCKO is a Superman focused event. Joshua Williamson talked about how they had, a Batman event, which was DC Metal, and how DC Death Metal was more of a Wonder Woman event, which not really, but okay.
Yeah, says who?
just because at the end she became this,
Like the god of
celestial
whatever.
god, whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't really focused on her, whatever. Um, so this is the Superman event, and essentially what it's going to be is a tournament, a 36, I believe it's 36 fighter tournament where the various characters have to fight and generate omega energy by being as ruthless and uncaring and heartless towards each other as possible in this tournament. And whoever wins will be KO, which is King Omega. Uh and the winner will become like a massive like kaiju celestial type to be able to fight Galactus, to be able to fight Darkseid, who is King Omega and has developed tremendous new power due to um, what we saw happen in the All In special. This is going to be 5 issues. It's going to have lots of twists and turns as far as who the fights. Um, Scott was particular about saying that this is not going to be grim dark fight to the death type thing. It's going to be like once you get defeated, once you're eliminated, you're on the shelf. Like you can't fight anymore, but you're not dead. And so there's no like murder going on. These heroes are just fighting towards a goal of trying to see which one of them will be able to go on and defeat Darkseid. The question mark is if you become King Omega and you have done all these things, you have been merciless, right? Are you not just becoming what you hate or what's the enemy here? To defeat the enemy, you're becoming evil to defeat evil, is the question.
It kind of reminds me of like what's going on with Doug Ramsey in the X-Men comics. Like there's this void that's typically represented by uh sometimes a malevolent evil, this dark side void. And they say that like there's a void and there's, in the New Gods comic there's war happening because of that void. So there always needs to be a dark side in a way. Um and it would be interesting to see like a hero take this over. The whole Doug Ramsey of it all in the X-Men Age of Revelation, it's like this typically good character has this insane power now. How do they not let it corrupt them? So like if I don't know, Jaime Reyes becomes the new Dark Side, how does he handle that? That's a compelling story, I think. It's a bit parallax. So I think Hal Jordan should be disqualified from this tournament. I don't think we need him there. But yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. I like the premise.
You had me at 36 fighters. This is DC Tenkaichi, bro. Like I'm there.
How many Super Saiyans are gonna be in this one? Jeez.
Yeah.
That's the Green Lanterns. The Super Saiyans are the Green Lanterns. Yeah.
Right, right. So from the gate, this was something that felt, just looking even at the promo image, it felt a little silly. It felt kind of like not unserious, but in the same way that we've had this explosion of it doesn't all have to be so dark with things like World's Finest, with the way that a lot of like our heroes have been playing out and playing with each other in the All-In universe at the moment. Um, but you're bringing in that depth. That's the thing that I think these creators have been able to do is keep it lighthearted, but still be able to say something. And so, frankly, I'm impressed that this is what it is because it sounds stupid and fun out the gate. But then you get to start thinking about it, and I imagine as the issues progress, you get deeper and deeper into it, and I'm sure you're going to have consequences come out of this. And that's the most compelling part are the consequences.
Yeah. The plot sounds suspiciously like Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, where they had to take out the fatalities because you couldn't rip off Superman's head in a video game. And also they were fighting to build power to eventually defeat Shao Kahn and Darkseid that combined at the end. Yeah, I'm excited for it, like mostly the variant covers. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of event out, which is why I'm really excited about the Absolute Evil one shot. I thought that All In did a really good job of doing being a one shot that had an effect on the entire line without it interrupting the great books that were going on at the time, and then also provided a really great jumping on point for people getting into All In. So I wonder on the other side of this, what does it look like? What new books will we get? What new sort of like status quo will we have where, maybe some characters get the spotlight? I think All In did a good job of like launching books like Challengers of the Unknown, The Question All Along, some really fun books that maybe characters we haven't seen in a while. So that's the thing I'm more excited about. The event itself, I'm excited that it's something more fun and not as serious as some of the events that we've seen. But I'm more excited about sort of like the new status quo and what sort of solo books and miniseries we'll get after the event.
Common sense with the 199. Did you notice that Rice or Red Doomsday is on the comic? I don't even know who that character is. What cover are you referring to where
Yeah,
we see that
Common Sense
character?
has deep cuts all the time.
Yeah,
You know your DC.
that's not common knowledge at
Yeah,
all.
the sense is common. The knowledge is uncommon knowledge. I don't even see anyone who could be construed as a Red Doomsday.
Yeah, dude, I
Oh,
don't know, man. You're gonna have
cool.
to be more specific about where you're seeing that character, bro, because I don't know who that is, man.
And J Sage coming in here while we're at it with another super chat. This one is for £9.99. I know comic fans love to act like they're about fighting and superhero comics, but this is going to be so fun. There's been so many great tournament arcs in manga that they can learn from. So pumped.
Nice. And I feel like I usually fall in that camp of I'm not the biggest fan of smashing the toys together, but again, this has a purpose to it, and so for that end, I can stand that, and I'm excited to see who's gonna win.
It,
I gotta tell you, I'm not excited for this.
yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah. I don't like things like this. My first thought was, and it's a very different framing device, but Avengers versus X-Men. And I have PTSD from Avengers versus X-Men. That was the first event I can really remember being like, yo, what are we doing here? This is crazy bad. It also reminds me of World War Hulk, which I similarly disliked because the events are built around fighting. That to me, the combat in comics is the least interesting part. It's very difficult to make fights in comics feel consequential because what is the consequence? The only thing that's interesting about a fight is the outcome. Like what's the reason they're fighting? And this feels very much like the flimsy kind of reasoning that you come up with in a video game like a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter to give these characters a reason to fight. The reason why it's interesting in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat is because I'm going to fucking be the one fighting. I get to pick up my controller and play the fight. I don't have to watch the shit. I don't go to the movies to watch Mortal Kombat because they suck. I play them in video games because
Hey,
it's
hey,
fun
that
to
trailer
freeze
looks good.
people.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
initial looked really
okay.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Roman Reigns playing Akuma. You
Okay,
tell
okay.
me that makes
I didn't say
sense.
all that. Just Mortal Kombat. Mortal
That
Kombat 2 look good, but Street Fighter, yeah. I'm a 50 fan, but I'm not watching that.
and Sean,
Who they get? They got Carl Urban to play my man Johnny Cage.
yeah,
Are you kidding me with
That's
that
pretty good.
casting?
that's a good
That's
cast.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's Judge Dredd.
No, Judge Dredd and Johnny Cage should not be played by the same man. Get the Miz. You want to get
Range.
wrestlers in movies?
No, the Miz can go kick rocks. Sean, does the or I guess Chris too, because I think you
Yeah.
might have read it. I don't think Marco's read it, but I could be wrong. The comparisons to the medals, is that make things better or worse for you?
That's dumb. That doesn't. It wasn't a comparison about the type of story. It was a comparison about the focus of the story.
Yeah.
The idea that the first one was focused on Batman, the second one was focused on Wonder Woman. That's not true for Wonder Woman. So I don't know why Josh said that. But that doesn't mean anything to me.
I feel like they were just trying to be like, oh, this makes more sense than putting like smashing the toys together.
Right.
Like there's like there's like a spiritual through line through all these events. But when they announced it, I mean, yes, to a certain extent, I'm like, oh yeah, metal from like the naming and sort of like the way that event was kind of like framed. It was like, yes, it's supposed to be like metal and fun and all that. So that's what DCKO is. But I think it was just a way of them being like, oh yeah, we've been in this for like 10 plus years. This is the next evolution of that. Which again, I don't see it, but I just again I think it's like one of those things where it's probably the first event made for YouTube Shorts where it's if you're like shorts creator, you're probably like, licking your chops are like, oh,
Yeah, I got to get my
this
TikTok
is the
game back
time,
on.
this is the power scaling time, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And
How
that's what
does
I was saying about like the variant covers. Like, there's gonna be like, we already saw the DWJ, like suplex, like that is awesome. I'm gonna buy that cover. But in terms of like the story, again, I'm more interested on what's on the other side of this. Um, like you brought up earlier about like Jaime possibly getting like more powers. That would be like really cool and a new status quo to give them a book and stuff like that. But I'm not necessarily like, oh my God, what's gonna happen in the events of KO? You've already said it. You said, hey, someone's gonna be crowned, you know, King Omega, and there's not gonna be any deaths. They're just gonna be to the sideline. So you've already kind of taken the stakes out of the event, in my eyes.
So I'm actually pretty hyped for this book. Um, I think so. Williamson did a tournament in his Robin run, which was really damn good. That was a good run that used I guess storytelling device of these fights, one on ones, but they were just sprinkled throughout the book, and occasionally they would focus on one of them because one of the POV characters was in the fight. Um, but it led to some really awesome visuals and like the downtime in between them, questioning whether or not this is worth it. The fighting, the competitiveness that comes out about it. It's fun, and I think usually Sean and I have similar opinions on comics, but I think that the opinion on action figures fighting, this is my shit. I enjoy this type of stuff. I didn't care much for death metal and metal. I thought the story was a little too convoluted, even though it introduced my favorite character, the Batman Who Laughs. Um, but I think this could be a lot of fun, and I think there's a good chance they can showcase some DC characters that maybe don't get a showcase. Looking on the cover, the Stan Mora, Brady Bunch looking ass cover, like Doctor Fate and Black Manta on it with Gorilla Grodd and Power Girl. Like, if you're gonna put the showcase on characters like that, hell yeah, let's have fun with it. And I think this could be a lot of fun. And you're right though, the variants are insane.
And now that you say that, I'm like, I think Williamson is a big Mortal Kombat fan because that Robin run was
Yes,
essentially
yeah,
it was on an island. There were fatalities, but because it was the Lazarus Island,
yep.
like they could come back and all that kind of stuff. So it's clear like he has a thing for tournaments and all that stuff. But I'm sure there's going to be great moments. But again, I've been really liking sort of like the storytelling ethos of All In and all that stuff. And I'm not really excited about the prospect of any event, to be honest. And that's why I'm saying like the one shot is a really great thing, just because I think again, I'm sort of like superhero evented out. Like it's hard for me to care about those things, especially when the line is doing so well, and I'm like, I don't really want these books interrupted.
Amin Perez with the 10. I couldn't agree more with Sean. This feels like Convergence again. It should be a story first, but focusing on the fights makes it seem like it's trying to please power scalers. Yeah, I'm sure that they're just having fun, right? I'm sure that Scott Snyder and um, Josh Williamson think this is just a really fun idea. And I should also add Javi Fernandez is going to be on art for this.
Very good.
So it's going to be Scott Snyder, but Josh Williamson intimated that he would be writing this as well. So it's a co-writing situation. And then Javi Fernandez on the art. And I want to respond to something Jay Sage said. Comic book fans take themselves too seriously, in my opinion. Your favorite hero is dressed in a weird suit, whoever he is. It's not about taking yourself too seriously, dude. It's not that at all. We all have different tastes. You like it, that's cool. I don't. That's also cool. I don't understand why people always have to add some reasoning as to like some negative reason as to why someone doesn't like something. Like, I just don't care for it. That's valid. Um, it could be fun. Like, I don't think this is going to be boring. I think it's probably going to be fun. It's just not the kind of fun that I'm looking to have. It's not that I don't ever want to see characters fight. I do. I expect it in an event. I just don't want an event where that's the only point. That's a very different thing.
Common sense also with the 199 saying on the top left of the K you can see Riser. Um, that looked like a blob to me, so kudos to you for discovering who that is. But yeah, I like how people are using power scalers as a slur in the comments here. I think. Do we know what the tie-in situation looks like for this, Sean? I couldn't gather that. I mean, there's some tie-ins like with Titans and Flash and all that, but like, I'm thinking this would be a prime candidate for during Avengers versus X-Men. They had the AVX books, like the tie-in books, which those were literally here's an issue, main story, and then a backstory, uh, with just 1v1s. This is your power scaler book, where the actual main book dealt with the actual story. This side book is just let's just have him punch. What happens is Iron Man fights Magneto, and somehow Iron Man won that one. So like, I don't know, but I think that could be a good dumb thing to have on the side too. If you want to have Grodd versus Guy Gardner, that's where you could do that.
So, tie-in wise, we have Justice League: The Omega Act #1, which is being touted as a prelude to KO. The Time Trapper races through time, chased by Darkseid's Legion, to offer the Justice League a final chance to rewrite fate. Time Trapper has witnessed how the future is already lost, and the only hope of survival lies in the Justice League. The Time Trapper has a plan to save the DCU, but it means making an impossible offer. Everything since DC All In Special #1 has been building to this moment. We're going to get that on October 1st, 48 pages, $5.99. That's going to be Josh Williamson with art by Yasmin Putri.
Ooh, Yasmin's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
We also
that's
know about Titans 28, which is John Layman, who's doing the writing and art. The Titans race to evacuate Earth before the Heart of Apocalypse transforms the planet into a hellscape. The Titans lead the evacuation of every human being. While the team splits up to save as many people as possible, old friends and new allies join the fray to save humanity from extinction.
so that kind of that little fact flew under the radar there. That this is also turning the Earth into Apocalypse. It's got those giant like cores of energy now on the cover of this. That feels like a big deal,
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
right? So it's not just a tournament they decided to have. No, it looks like they're forced into it.
They were pretty explicit about this being the choice of the heroes in the video. Like, this is something they are choosing to do in order to defeat Darkseid. So I think they are setting something in motion that is causing the Earth to change, but this is the hero's decision.
Like this is the path we must take in order to solve this.
Yep,
Sure. Yeah.
100%. We've also got Superman #31, which they're touting as a tie-in. Eddie Barrows back on art. Superman and his allies have been thrown into a dangerous game to capture the heart of Apocalypse deep within the Earth. But what is the heart of Apocalypse, and how are its origins tied to Krypton? And why doesn't Darkseid's Legion want Superman to find out? Will the Man of Tomorrow become the Man of Apocalypse? Probably not. um, this one's major. This one is major. The Flash #26. Wally and Impulse race. As the chaos around the DC universe erupts during DC KO, Impulse proposes a catastrophic reality reset. Impulse Point. A terrible move that could wipe out everything unless the Flash can catch up with him as they race through time. Now, this issue of The Flash is written by Mark Waid and Christopher Cantwell, not Cy Spurrier, who has announced that his time on The Flash has come to an end. Cy Spurrier leaving The Flash.
Damn, dude. What
Yep.
what devastating news. I've been catching up on
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Yeah, me neither. I was
No,
like,
dude.
are you very is he
This
being
is
serious?
this has been my Flash. Like, this is the book that,
You might be the only one.
well, at least on this podcast,
Yeah,
uh, uh, that has like I've been catching up on the DC app with it. I check in here and there. I'm still a few issues behind, obviously because of what
yeah.
the delays. Um, but yeah, man, I've been enjoying this series. I've been enjoying his way of framing the like timey-wimey stuff. It feels like a Vertigo book because of the way that he uh, is able to put the characters together, the situations. They're sometimes existential. They're sometimes wacky. And this is a character who like is at times can be incredibly like sensitive, so he becomes introspective. Um, so yeah, it's a shame that he's leaving the book, but he got a good run in. Was it 25 at least
There's a
two
pun
two and a
intended
half
there.
years?
Jeez. I think it's also big news that Mark Waid's coming back to the Flash, in probably a diminished capacity than when he was last on it, with Cantwell probably doing the actual writing and he's doing the plot points. It's usually how that goes. But that's a big deal. This is one of Wade's like iconic characters, specifically Wally too. And he's throwing Impulse back into the mix. It looks like the Time Trapper, aka Doomsday's around here. The World Forger, he's on the cover of this one, this Dan Mora cover. Do they have Dan Mora and Mark Waid just chained up somewhere? Like I've seen Mark Waid in podcasts. He's in the same spot he was on our podcast. I don't know.
He hasn't moved.
I don't think he's allowed to. I think he's too busy building this world.
Same outfit too.
Do we know if he was at the Superman premiere at least? They let him out for that. I think they did.
Do we know that? Do we know that? Do we
That's
know that was
right.
That's
actually
true.
him?
Yeah.
Just his likeness.
Just his likeness. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like with this news of Spurrier getting off the Flash. I think it was a tough act to follow Jeremy Adams on the Flash because I think what he was able to do to bring Wally back and after Heroes in Crisis and all that kind of stuff. But it was just such a like tonal shift from that book for me. It was like tonal whiplash, like those first few issues. And I was like, I kind of like checked out of it, but I love the Flash, so I'd always kind of like pop in to see like, hey, is this the arc that will sort of like get me in, or had they really gotten going? And I just never like really clicked with it. I really like the art and the covers. I like the new Flash suit, but could never really get into the run.
Have you been poking in and out like with on the app or as issues come out concurrently?
On the app. So I have
Okay.
the ultra tier. So I'm only like third, like one issue behind at every like. Anytime I'll see like an interesting cover or a cool solicit, I'll be like, you know what? Let me like see what's going on here, and I'm like, oh, not great. So I'll pop back out. I do like the Flash in other books. Barry's been great in some other things and stuff like that. I just think it was for DC to kind of get Wally back on his feet and then to immediately sort of like put him into like this introspective and sort of like I wouldn't say like dark, but that kind of tone, especially after it took so long to get Wally to a place where
Mm.
he's with the family and all that kind of stuff. Just because he's been so all over the place after Rebirth. So I thought that was like a weird choice. But I think with the Flash, ever since they brought Barry back, it's been hard to kind of find a place for Wally, which kind of is rough, but I get it.
Yeah. Uh, that book feels moody, like currently right now. But I hear you. I didn't read the Jeremy Adams stuff,
Mm.
so I can only imagine just how, and especially if what he's doing on things like Green Lantern is similar in tone to what he was doing on The Flash. I can see that shift be so like dramatic. So yeah, I hear that.
Looks like Sean got taken by the dark side energy there.
That's it, dude.
We can
You
bring
know
up
what? I was gonna question him when he was like, "Does Darkseid have a heart?" It's like, does he?
Wow,
Yeah,
that sounds like apocalyptic propaganda. Let's get this super chat out of the way though. So we got Jay Sage again with the $9.99 pound. I know comics isn't manga, but some of the best story arcs in manga are tourneys. Ask about the Dark Tournament. It's memorable, and that's from Yu Yu Hakusho. It's memorable for its character depth and story. KO can be that. IMO.
Yo.
Yeah, but the Dark Tournament only had 5 main characters and not 36,
For sure.
Yeah,
and they could die. And some of those characters, like
expendable.
I love Yu Yu Hakusho and the Dark Tournament, and manga really does a great job of highlighting those things. But again, when everyone's gonna survive, and all of the like, hey, this person becoming King Omega and getting all these powers will only last until the next writer comes on and changes that. I think it always throws the weight out of a tournament like that. I would love to see like a tournament in the Absolute universe, or like maybe like a one shot or like maxi series where people can die. Maybe you could try to tell a different kind of story. Not a huge fan of it, but like the Tom King Black Canary book, like, hey, like that has like stakes to it and all that, and that's how you make that work in comics. Whereas like having this big event where we know, like, hey, not that comic sells toys anymore, but this is meant to sort of like get variant covers out and all that kind of thing. It's hard to buy into it the same way as like a dark tournament or tournament of power. Like all these things we've seen really successful in manga and anime.
I don't know who brought it
Yeah.
up in the comments here. Somebody's referencing it. Uh, but Leland Haig says, "Is Echo still a Phoenix from that tournament?" Yeah, I think that's an example of when it doesn't work in mainline
Yeah.
comics. There was that Jason Aaron run, um, uh, Jason Aaron run with who was on the art of that one? I don't know. But the Phoenix Force was needed to go to someone else, so they had that tournament for the Phoenix Force, and like they had like those random, like everyone got the Phoenix powers at some point, even Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the best. But then I think of like Jay Sager's kind of right, like that. Um, a lot of manga and anime, and I really only know it from anime, does the
Mm.
tournament idea well. And I think Williamson kind of took that a lot of that during his Robin run, and I think translated that well to a Western superhero thing. And I think once we see who the contestants are for this, like if there are villains on there too, those guys are expendable. If there are B-list heroes on it who don't have solo titles, those are kind of expendable. DC is fine with killing people and bringing them back eventually. So I think there can still be stakes, even though it just looks like a fight for people just saying I quit. This it's it's pro wrestling more than Mortal Kombat.
I think there could be stakes, but as I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like the Pokemon situation. Your Pokemon fainted; it doesn't die, right? Like, and so you can kind of keep them in the world, um, but also I started thinking too much about it, and it does come to like a power scaling thing where I'm like, well, wait a second, like,
Oh, we got a power scaler here. Jeez.
well,
Get him off the show. Get him off the show.
like surely there's only one trajectory, and of course it's a Superman thing, right? So Superman's gonna win. So like, do I start to care about some of the matchups that they're gonna maybe be like, oh, this is the underdog. Like, is Robin gonna beat is Damian gonna beat Kara or something? Where are some of these things that happen?
If you don't think Damien has a kryptonite ring at all points, he's Bruce Wayne's son. Like he's gonna find a way to beat a Kryptonian for sure.
Again, the first event made for YouTube Shorts.
Oh yeah, I'm going on TikTok for this. We're bringing the TikTok game back.
Um, so the other the other interesting thing about this is it seems as though, I mean, it doesn't seem it was said as much. This is a Superman event, and this is what they're describing as a very personal Superman story, where, quote, um, Superman is looking into his own heart of darkness. It's a very personal story wrapped in 9 layers of candy exploding in your face. Now, that is Scott Snyder's quote. That's what he had to say. And then Josh Williamson said each level is a new challenge, and the tournament will reveal unexpected heroes. Some you won't believe will go really far in the fights.
Do you guys want to put bets on now?
Nope.
Just throw out who you think will win this.
Bro, they're
Jonah
planning
Hex.
Whoa! All right,
Oh,
deep cut,
nice.
kryptonite bullet.
Obviously the world's greatest fighter, Wildcat.
Marco, are you reading JLI?
He's gonna come back, dude. He's gonna come back.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a Superman story, so it seems like he should win, but I kind of feel like it's Superman to reject the power.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know who's going to win this. I don't know.
But it's like, what if it's a Superman event the way Metal was a Wonder Woman event?
Yeah. That's why I don't trust it. Yeah.
Where, it's said that, but they're like, yes, they're important to the end of the story, or some things, but the actual story, if you read it, it's not. Again, the story to me is not really that interesting. I kind of like the idea of Darkseid sort of seeking out this greater power, and now that they're kind of back, I'm like, uh, I'm not like, even the stuff that's going on in the New Gods book. That's amazing. The fact that Void of Darkseid, but I don't know, the fact that Darkseid is back. I liked him gone. I like the idea of like him seeking out this power, people figuring out what he's doing. The Aquaman book is great because of that
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
there's so many things that sort of like storytelling, like that event created. So the fact that he's back, I don't know. I think it just throws a lot of things that I was actually really liking about the DC line sort of into question.
My money's on Lex.
That's a good bet.
It's a Superman story after all.
Dude, speaking of Darkseid being back, I think Darkseid got Sean again, dude. He's either too stoic or he's leaving.
Yeah, I think Darkseid did good. We got to use
He's
this comic books for Sean
talking in
for
his
real.
ear right now. He's
Yeah.
like whispering. It's like the White Martian. The smoke is just going.
I love that book.
I mean, that book is amazing. I wonder if the second part of it is going to be more connected to the rest of or at least more superhero-y than the first one.
And that's what I feel like. It feels so distinct and distant from what the rest of the books are doing that, like, I find it hard to believe that that book is running concurrently with the big lantern symbol that's like exists in the world,
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might have like be one issue behind on Martian Manhunter, but I don't know if I've read any references to the larger DCU in that book. Whereas the other ones, you could kind of like, there might be a line here about like the Lazarus Corp and stuff like that. But in that book, and not that I wanted or needed in that book, but I don't even think I've seen it. So it'll be interesting to see his world interact with the rest of the DC, the absolute DCU.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also
Yeah.
going on at the same time is like the fallout from We Are Yesterday is happening at the same time here. Part of this
Yeah.
announcement was that I think it's a Justice League Unlimited tie-in issue with Mr. Terrific and this kind of
The new like Terrific 10 or something. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
new team.
his group of definitely not DC's exiles is with him trying to figure out the source of what's going on here. And it's got Batman Beyond Marco and Harpoon Hand Aquaman, Electric Blue
I know.
Superman,
I know, dude. I'm so
Ultra
sad
the
that I haven't.
multi-alien.
I'm sad I haven't been following this event because those characters are there. But I'm hoping that means that maybe we get something more with them, especially Batman Beyond. Like that's what I want, 100%. I don't expect it because I'm sure they're gonna resolve it, and keep moving from here because they're like time travelers, universe swapping and all that. So yeah,
Yeah, and it's a tough character to crack. Like the one like Batman Beyond run I really liked was the one where Tim Drake was Batman Beyond. That was really cool.
That happened?
That happened, and it's really good. So Terry was thought to be dead after, I think, Convergence was the event.
Okay.
And Tim was sent, to the future because they can't figure out what to do with him either.
No, they can't.
And he has to be Batman Beyond, and it's a really great 20 issue run. I think I had read it on Comixology. It was like on sale, and I was in a Batman Beyond mood. And ever since, I always bring it up when Batman Beyond comes up. I'm like, Tim Drake's Batman Beyond is actually pretty good.
this is the Future's End stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Future's End,
okay.
not
Yep.
Convergence.
Yep.
Like all those events, kind of like, but yeah. Also, that event is a terrible Mr. Terrific story. But speaking of Mr. Terrific, but I really like that Tim Drake Batman Beyond. It is on the DC app, so if you guys could check it out, like it's really good.
Showing the dark side energy coming for you.
It's in me right now. Yeah, for sure.
I see the Omega symbol slowly appearing on your forehead.
Yeah.
Pretty annoyed about my computer right now, but what are you gonna do? Yeah. So DCKO is coming. It's gonna be interesting to see how these fights unfold. I don't have a lot of um I don't have a lot of excitement for the story. I think I'm much more in line with what Chris has kind of been talking about, where it's like I'm interested in what's going to come after this more than I am interested in what this is, because what this is just doesn't speak to my palate. But it could very well end up being a ton of fun, and if it is, then I will get on here and say that it is. So hopefully they can nail the fun aspect of it.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm excited for the AEW crossover variants at least. They have Dan Mora doing Lobo versus Hangman Adam Page, and League of Comic Geeks has it listed as a series of variants. So I guess there's your corporate synergy of, hey, you're having your tournament fight book. Let's have it synergize with the same wrestling company we own. So that could be fun.
Somebody's doing the big thinking up there.
Somebody's doing something.
Listen, my tinfoil hat theory is this is an elaborate scheme to be a tie-in to the Mortal Kombat movie.
I don't doubt it.
That movie comes out in the fall. This book comes out in the fall.
Wait, folding it into the DC universe?
Listen, it's happened before.
God.
They're the same company.
I know.
When you see Carl Urban's Johnny Cage show up at the end of DCKO and wins the tournament.
What happens if Bruce Wayne comes out on and like starts wrestling?
That's just
Like in
any
full
Batman
suit.
book? Oh.
I would actually love like a variant cover of like him, when he fought like Raja Ghul, where he has the cowl on, but he
Yeah.
no shirt. Like you got to get DWJ, like I don't know, do it like having Batman, F5 Dark Side or something like that.
He'd be the greatest wrestler of all time. Batman would be the greatest.
Is he a luchador? Is that considered a luchador?
He would definitely not be a luchador.
Well, he's got the mask.
That's true. He'd be a luchador like Owen Hart was a luchador.
I was gonna say
when
El
he was
Grande
wearing the mask.
Americano, but that's probably better. Yeah.
Man, oh man, this is gonna be really interesting. I love this cover. That Hangman, man, Dan Mora. They
What
should
is he
get him
doing?
to draw some AEW comics.
What do we have? Our Swerve who? Who was Swerve cosplayed as? He's done.
I need to
Static,
see him
but-
draw the new Swerve meme.
Oh,
where he's like, I need to see him draw
Yeah.
that meme.
I just want to see Dan Mora's Prince Nana in the background. But like, do you see how many? So I'm going through these slides. So many of them are Dan Mora. How is this dude's output so insane? I know he has people that help him on like inks and colors. It's still an insane output.
I mean, he works really hard. Like when I saw him at Comic Con last year, like I was getting things. He was like literally like drawing behind his leg. So he works fast. But maybe it's that Twitter theory where it's like Dan Mora is not a person. It's
like a
it's
Shakespeare thing.
collective.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Shakespeare thing. But I love
What?
it. I think. But I do think he's doing so much where some of the covers are getting simpler and simpler. Like the KO one is just like, like portraits and stuff like that. So I do think he needs to take a break for people to be able to appreciate what he does. And he can have like a truly great run on something like he did with like Once and Future and that kind of stuff.
Two things. One, Dan Mora has said that he loves this shit. And he never thought he would get an opportunity to be in the position that he's in. So he's milking it for all that it's worth. And the second thing is that he's talked about how he's going to slow down next year and really draw back his output. We know he's doing GI Joe. We don't know what else he's going to be doing in 2026. So we'll have to see. But I expect to see a lot less Dan Mora in the future, which may be a good thing, maybe not. Not for me, not a good thing for me, because I think everything he puts out is a banger. But
He'll
we'll
come
see.
back with pensive, pensive books. He's gonna come back. I like getting DWJ in like little flavors.
You want the?
We were talking about Dan Mora.
It's okay. Marco
Oh,
left.
sorry. Yeah.
I swear you guys
I
listen
think
with
Tristan.
half an ear.
No. I
The
was
dark
looking
side
at
energy got Marco.
that too.
Speaking of Daniel Warren Johnson, though, Daniel Warren Johnson is doing his first Absolute book. Absolute Batman Annual 2025 was also announced. Again, DC really, and Marvel too, because of the way that the solicits work. The October solicits are out now, and they couldn't wait until San Diego Comic-Con, so we know everything. And one of the things that we know is that there is an Absolute Batman Annual coming. I'm imagining that all the Absolute books are going to get their annuals. And this one is going to include Daniel Warren Johnson writing and drawing a Batman story, an absolute Batman story.
And that's the first time somebody else is writing the character for an absolute character, right? Well, I guess
I'm
Absolute
pretty
Evil
sure.
has Ewing
Yeah.
doing everyone. But yeah, this is the first time Scott's handing over the reins a bit, even for a one and done story. But man, DWJ is the person I said would work so well in the Absolute Universe. Because there is that distinct art style, but distinctly not mainline. Yeah, this rules. This cover looks sick.
Yeah. James Harren and Meredith McLaren will also be in there. This is gonna be awesome. This cover is unbelievable. It makes me think of The Cult. I don't know if you guys
Oh
have
yeah.
read that Batman story, but it reminds me of The Cult. I have no idea what Daniel Warren Johnson's gonna do in this space, but I don't know, bro. These guys, they're wearing white hoods. This is getting racial to me.
Absolute Batman smashes the Klan.
There it is.
That's kind of what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, and smashes them quite
Yeah,
literally. He got
yeah.
that hammer ready.
Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
axe.
That thing is not even clean. That thing has been used recently.
Yeah.
Yes. He is
Uh,
cutting them down. Let's go.
I'm excited. Again, DWJ would be perfect for absolute Hawkman. uh, but I'm just excited about everything going on in that line. Like every book that I read, like particularly like my favorite Absolute book is Absolute Green Lantern, but every time I read a new issue of Absolute Batman, that comes into question. I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, like what Scott and Dragata are doing is just it's so brutal. It's metal, but it's also deep. It's very timely and weirdly like socially and politically relevant. So that book is just amazing, and to have DWJ sort of like put his spin on that character, especially after some of the art that like I know he did a cover for like issue 2 or issue 1. That's probably like one of the best covers or iterations of Absolute Batman. So I'm really excited about this.
People in the chat saying this could be Absolute Court of Owls.
Huh.
Possibly.
Uh,
Hmm.
I mean,
they look like brokies to me. Why are they running around with bats and pipes?
Exactly the opposite. It's
True,
like, hey,
yeah.
like, hey, if they're rich in the regular line, let's make them broke.
although
Uh,
the tiki torches and the hoods,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward. This is the clan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm smelling racism. The shit that popped me was when C.W. Gordon, I think it was C.W. Gordon. Why can't I find the comment? He said, Batman taking on classic X-Men villains 3K. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's the crossover we need. See, that's the problem with the X-Men. I gotta say this. That's the problem with the X-Men. They see racism and they let it rock. They said, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and get our own island. We'll leave you guys alone. You do your racist you.
Mm.
Batman said, nah, I'm coming with this axe. I'm giving you that work. 3K, you're done. That's what I want to see.
I've never seen an X-Men smashes a clan. Never seen it.
See?
Never seen it.
Exactly.
The
But
X-Men.
I think it's funny on Twitter. There's been this thing going around about the humans in the Marvel universe versus the humans in the DC universe, where like they're referencing some like crossovers where like the Justice League comes over to the Marvel universe and it's like, what the fuck is everyone's problem here? Like,
Oh, yeah.
because there's just like panels of like humans getting saved and they're just like throwing like tomatoes at the X-Men or Spider-Man and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? Yeah, the Marvel universe kind of sucks. Oh, yeah,
Marvel civilians would clear that easily.
yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? I feel like Marvel civilians are pretty hard. Like DC civilians, honestly, how self-reliant do you need to be when Superman is just going to fly over and handle the problem? We saw that in this Superman movie. These idiots were just standing around watching. Like
They're
there's
complacent.
major
Yeah.
chaos. Marvel, you're not getting saved. Like they're not coming to save you. It's just like Spider-Man might swing by, but the Fantastic Four don't give a fuck about you. Iron Man doesn't give a fuck about you. When is the last time you saw any Marvel hero other than Spider-Man just saving civs? They don't do that. You fend for yourself in Marvel.
The building collapses. They go, well, lost a couple people
They
there.
literally have a whole
Yeah.
division called damage control to fix this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. To pay people out, like
Yeah.
insurance
Yeah.
people.
I've only ever seen the Avengers come in the aftermath. Like they're never there to stop the problem before it because they're like cops.
all right,
They don't stop
Yeah.
the shit beforehand.
Sean's about to write Civil War 2 now.
I am.
Yeah.
Throw me the bag, Actually, they don't even need to throw me a bag. I'm pretty open.
Pro
Let's
bono?
talk. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, let me not get ahead of myself. I
Yeah,
want
I
bread.
don't work for free ever.
I mean, the way Marvel pays, it might as well be.
Yeah.
Listen, pay me $100. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Izzy's issues brings up a good point though. Gotham civilians, those guys
They're
build a little
pretty
different.
hard. Yeah,
those
they're
guys
also
build a little
mutated.
different. Yeah.
They've been gassed and
Straight
and-
up.
Yeah, like
There's poison in the drinking water. Like the well is literally poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
That was a funny thing, it's kind of a tangent, but like it Hush too, like with the first issue where it's like, Joker's trying to poison the water again. I'm like, this again?
Or-
I knew that book was off to like a bad start when that was the opening. I was like, I don't know about this, guys. I don't think they're breaking new ground with Hush 2.
No, sir. Revolutionary Dragon with the 5 spot. Thank you so much, dude. If the X-Men fight, the Clan people would accuse them of being villains. Yeah, but who cares? Fuck them.
I mean, that's what they do now.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's like, yeah, just do it,
Yeah. Screw them. Kurt Wildshut. I'm pretty sure Chris is the first person I've seen cite Absolute Green Lantern as their favorite. I'd love to hear him speak on that. I would too.
Yeah, and even on my YouTube channel when things were coming up, I was like, like Genoa Lindsay, I never read a book that they had done. I wasn't really liking the like preview art, and I'm kind of tired of evil Hal Jordan. So the idea of Hal Jordan being this villain, I was like, oh, this again. And then when I read the first issue, it's like Arrival meets Akira. It's like all these different things that are happening at the same time. And also like the interview you guys had with Al Ewing, it really is biblical in a lot of ways. And the way the story is unfolding, where even though each issue is sort of like giving you a little piece of information, it's sort of like revelatory and amazing the way it's expanding the universe. The most basic thing about that book is the fact that like, Hector Hammond just showed up on a helicopter and he's like the evil corporate, like, what's going on here? But everything else in that book, you're seeing the pain in Hal's eyes. It's like, even though he's the villain of the book, he's going through something. I never really liked Far Sector. Like I like the that book when they start talking about like memes being currency on that other planet, I kind of like just checked out. Which is why you don't do things like that in a book, because 5 years later it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But the way Joe's been in that book, it's just everything about it, like, and like Green Lantern's really important in terms of like how I got into comics. Like Blackest Night was like my first comic event that I was like using my summer money to buy and all that stuff. I have a Green Lantern ring right here.
Yo,
Whoa.
Look at that! Look at that!
Lanterns Unite.
You know, Superman, I liked it, but like my favorite part was seeing, Guy be, a Green Lantern on the construct. So that book, there's something about it that just like again that brings me like the light in that book just attracts me to it. And every time I read it, I'm like, this is what Al Ewing should be doing, not, making Mary Jane Venom. This is the their Mortal Hulk Al Ewing that I know. And it's just exploring so many like cool ideas, and I think that is what an absolute book should be. It's exactly that. Like now I'm in love with Joe as a character. I never really bought in, like, again, Far Sector was not a book I liked, and to see her in this new sort of context has been really cool. And again, I was on defense for this book. I was like, this is going to be weird. I really don't want Hal to be a villain again. They've
Yeah.
done the parallax thing like 20 different times. So I'm good on that. So the fact that I think it was able to sort of like let me put my guard down is one of those things where that's why that's probably my favorite absolute DC book.
Cool. Cool. I like that. This busted me. Amin Perez said, "Rent in Gotham has to be stupidly low." Comic book history says, "Amin, that was the plot of White Knight." That is hilarious, given that Sean Murphy, renter extraordinaire, is the individual who wrote that book. It's
N-
pretty apropos.
Notorious landlord.
Landlord.
Which, by the way, I think White Knight is fantastic.
Yeah,
But
yeah, those books are great and stuff. But I think where most of us are, New Yorkers, you understand that despite crime and the city sucking and infrastructure being bad, that has no effect on the
No,
rents.
no, those
So
they rather they be empty.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a very high possibility, and that's why all the Gothamites are probably numb to the fact that the water is poison and stuff. They have bigger things to worry about, like their rent.
The
Just
Maronis
paying.
definitely
Yeah.
own the Maronis definitely own a large apartment complex with nobody in it, and
Nobody in it, yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
property. Yeah.
unbelievable, dude. I would never ever fucking live in Gotham, bro. Never. Get like of
But
all the
what if the
places,
bodegas don't close?
why would
Three
that be a
dollar
good
train.
thing?
Listen, man, until you've been to the Midwest, you don't understand what it's like to be up at 9 o'clock at night and being like, man, it'd be great if I could just walk
Dude,
downstairs
I lived in
and
Buffalo
get a
for
chopped cheese.
I lived in Buffalo for just a majority of a year, and that's how I felt. It's like, oh, shit's done. If it's past 7, I'm hungry probably.
Listen, my sister lived there. All you have is Walmart and the
Yeah,
bills. Imagine that. That's your
yeah.
life.
Nah, bro.
I have friends who've moved out of New York, and the first thing they say, man, I miss bagels and bodegas.
That's why they're all back. That's why the rent is back up.
People are flocking.
Although
Everyone left, and and I'm sure that happened in the DC universe after No Man's Land. Everyone left, and they're like, "Man, I really do miss Gotham."
Yeah. Yeah.
And they came back.
Miss that
Remember
Gotham
when there was
bagel.
a fucking insane earthquake that brought the worst people alive out in our
well,
neighborhood? I really miss that place.
Hey, it brought us together as a city. I miss that. I miss that.
Jesus. Yeah, so those are really the big DC announcements that we got. Um Lots of things to be really excited about. We are going to get a lot more information at San Diego Comic-Con, as you can imagine. Um this is what I'm talking about. Like San Diego Comic-Con, the focus is on the comics. Both publishers have put out some major news, and I imagine they've kept a few in the chamber. This ain't
No.
everything.
yeah, they have to announce actual stuff there, and tease
Yeah.
stuff. I think we'll probably get some new absolute announcements. I would assume.
Absolute
Uh,
Hawkman.
Well, and Snyder teased Green Arrow as well.
Yeah, yeah, that would be really
Yeah.
good.
We know for a fact that we are getting announcements of more than one new absolute book
Hell yeah.
that is not absolute evil. So place your bets. When is it? It's not. Is it next
I think
weekend?
it's
Next weekend, I
week.
think.
I
Yeah.
think it's next
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
also
So
Fantastic Four comes out. So it's a big weekend.
yeah.
But
Oh
the,
yeah.
the good thing is, and we were just talking to somebody who's going to be in San Diego about this. the big studios are not there. The movie studios are gone. They're skipping this year, most of them.
Yeah.
So that's like it's like another what was it 2022 when it happened or 2021?
Yeah.
2020, yeah.
Yeah,
2021.
where well it wasn't 2020.
No.
Where the comics got to be the focus because the big movies, the Hall H people weren't really there. The non-comics movies were kind of taking up that spot. And that's cool to see because San Diego is a big con. Eventually, I would get there, but like, it's ever been interesting to me because it's not comics focused. Where New York Comic Con has seemed to be, in recent memory, more comics focused. But this is good. I think this is cool. It's cool to see a Jim Lee and Friends panel, on the schedule. It's cool to see that All In panel with Snyder and crew there. Because if I was there, I'd want to go to those. Those are exciting.
That's
And-
the stuff that is
yeah.
exciting at this point.
Yeah, in previous years, like this pre San Diego show would probably be about like, oh, what is the DCU slate going to be about? This is like all those things, but instead you have again those big announcements around comics, and we're all speculating about like, oh, what's the next Absolute book, this and that. So it's good to have that excitement be sort of like put in that area where it's like the comics focus. Yeah, and it's been as much as like again it pays the bills. San Diego Comic Con is a business, so like hey, those huge Hall H panels are big in terms of the promotion of all that. But the comics are really important, and we're seeing it sort of like hey, the movies falter a little bit, but the comics are picking up.
And I also think like the big studios recognize they can control the narrative in their own platforms.
All
They
for
don't need
social.
they don't need to be doing it at a specific week where it's
Bring
bogged
back
down.
DC fandom.
Yeah, well, I that's kind of what I'm getting at. But why do it on a week where everyone's dropping their news, or your news might get lost in the shuffle of other people's news, when you can just post it whenever you want. James Gunn could come out with a new video on Threads, where he can dictate all of this to everyone.
Yeah.
So I think the use of Marvel Studios and the DC Studios being at San Diego Comic Con it's wavering. I don't think it needs to be there, and I think it's cool to see the comics actually be focused there because a lot of the people that go there are artist alley people. They're writers, they're artists, and it's cool to have things focused a little more on that section, so that they can draw people to their tables.
Do we know that DC Studios is not there?
I'm pretty sure
They're only there for Peacemaker. So
Yeah.
Peacemaker season 2 will be there. But that's a TV show, so that's like completely different than like what a movie does. But the comic stuff, and I think it is a little sad when those things happen too, because that's how, to kind of bring it to the gaming thing, that's how we lost E3. I definitely miss those like big like panels and stuff like that, and also it made them be competitive because some of these like sometimes Sony does a state of play and you're like, I don't think this needed a state of play, bro.
This one could have been
if
email, yeah.
the competition does, not to be a capitalist, breed innovation in a way, of in terms of like, hey, we have to bring our stuff because this company's going to be there. But we're seeing that in the comics. It's like, hey, Marvel, they're bringing their X event, they're bringing, Ultimate Endgame, and DC's bringing Absolute Evil and KO. So we're seeing that on the comics front, which is cool.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so soon for something like a DC, after the Superman release, right? Like you're gonna need time to build up the rest of the stuff because that aspect of it is, I feel like, on the more casual end, like the hardcore readers are excited for these announcements, but to that point, if you don't have some of the big players, yeah, maybe you start to dwindle the attendance.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's also worth pointing out, like Marco alluded to just now, they're both companies, both studios are in places where there's probably just not a lot to even show or say.
Yeah.
I could imagine that there's more on the DC side of things to talk about. I highly doubt we're only going to hear about Peacemaker.
Yeah.
But on the Marvel side, Fantastic Four is not out yet. And what are you going to say? What can you say or show from Avengers Endgame that we don't already know that wouldn't damage the rollout for that movie, in a year?
The only real things that Marvel could do or Marvel Studios could do is announce, who's going to be in Daredevil season 2 and then officially announce a Punisher one shot.
Sure.
But again, like, do you need a Hall H for that? No.
No, and
No, you need a
they're
Hollywood
probably
Reporter
saving
article.
it.
That's all.
Yeah, they're saving that probably for next year because when it comes to Doomsday, it's coming out in December of next year, and I think
Yeah.
that's the only Marvel Studios fully produced movie coming out next year. You have
Yeah.
Spider-Man coming out next year, but that's like Sony and Marvel, so that's like one of those like weird things, and they really have a release date, but haven't started shooting that movie, so I don't know how that's coming out next year, but you know,
It's not. That's the answer.
yeah.
Matt Fisher with the 199. What is going on, dude? He wants to know what is going on with One World Under Doom and X-Men. So, One World Under Doom, the less said, the better. And X-Men, I am
Great
dropping
book.
it.
Great
So
book.
there you go.
Yeah. Speaking of that, can we talk about the fact that they relaunched Fantastic Four and it's a tie-in? The number one that's supposed to be this great like jumping on point ties into One World Under
It's
Doom.
barely a tie-in.
I mean, come on. I think they had like this emotional ending, like Ryan North is leaving the book, and they're like,
That
3 weeks later, here's the number one with the same writer, also referencing things that are in a 20-issue event. So yeah,
issue
that
33 was
that's upsetting.
amazing though. That Herbie issue, oof, great stuff.
This is a great writer. I just hate the practices of the company.
And Matt Fisher, we're going to talk about X-Men coming up, probably.
Stay tuned.
Definitely. Yeah, we've got a lot more to talk about here on the show. Do not go anywhere. We have consistently had over 100 of you with us live. Let's keep that up because we've got major Marvel news to talk about that I think you guys are going to want to hear. Marvel is teasing something that we just had a conversation about on this show, which is the end of the Ultimate Universe. And a lot of people said, what? They're not ending the Ultimate Universe. Why would you even have this conversation? All right. All right. Stay tuned. We're gonna break it down and why it seems like that may be exactly the direction they are going down. Before we get into the rest of the show, all of the major happenings, I do want to shout out a special shout out to the best pals in the universe, our pals vs legends, the people who support the show and are really our sponsors. Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross, Catherine Stars, the Red Spiral, Spiral Storm, Adam and Bernie, the Best Boy, the Spear of Judgment, Jace Jumble, Jalen Jackson, the Sanguine Sorcerer, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout. And I want to give a thank you to Pals vs. members, the Night Stalker, Harris Tajinski, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manastorm, the man, Slow Flow Dameron, aka Nightwing Stan, BKA Chris, here live with us. Thank you so much for being here with us, dude. Appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the man's channel, Nightwing Stan, if you like what he's had to say here. Head on over to that channel where you can hear more of his takes and thoughts on the comics industry and movies. We've also got Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, The Spear of Justice, Izzy's Issues, The Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Robert Runback Cashaback, Pete, The Dreamer for Collins, James, Just Jamming Jones, Paul, Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight, the Cosmic Avenger, Matthew the Shade Cosmo, BJ Kicks, and the Living Blade, Boss Dear. If you didn't hear your name, and you know you should, stick around because we will be getting to more of your names later on in the program. Um, woo, we've got a lot more show to get into, man. I love being here on a Saturday. I was very excited to talk about all this big news. Um, we have got the announcement. Well, we know the book that is going to be the subject of the book club the next book club, which is somehow still 2 weeks out. I feel like this is the longest month. It's a 5 Tuesday month. That's why.
Five
So on the
weeker.
5 weeker. Yeah, excuse me. Um uh the 29th of July, we're going to be talking about Superman Birthright, which overwhelmingly was what you guys voted for. There you go. There you go.
Oh,
And the compact
compact?
too, yeah.
This is the
Hell
perfect
yeah.
format. I did not know you were going to bring that up, but it actually was just on my desk. And I was like, oh,
Nice.
perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. $10 if you're going to be joining the book club. I'd say this is the perfect format to read it, affordable, and has the entire story.
That is good for a book club. The fact that it's $10, it's like
Yeah.
your entry is not that crazy. The hardest would
Easy
be
to
finding
find
it.
too.
Yeah,
You could get it at your Barnes and Noble, average bookstore, Amazon.
yeah.
I got mine. I've started reading it. I have thoughts about the format. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot to say about Birthright when it comes out.
You bought the
The
compact?
good version of Man of Steel. If you ever thought of
No.
what would the good version of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel would be, it is Superman Birthright.
Here we go.
Sean, you got the compact as well?
I did, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
it's not. I'm not gonna criticize the book for the format because that's
Yeah.
not fair. I really wish I wasn't reading this for the first time in compact.
No.
I don't think
Interesting.
it's doing the art favors. But story's good so far.
Yeah.
The art is good so far. So
All of it available on the DC app as well for anybody who is a digital reader.
And it
There you
got
go.
reprinted in a deluxe hardcover recently. So like if you are into sort of like seeing the art in its full form and stuff, Birthright is one of those books that DC does a good job of keeping in print, whether
Yep.
so along with like All Star Superman. So you can find whatever format you're really into, digital, compact, absolute, hardcover, trade, you could probably find it.
I might spring for a hardcover. We'll
Mm.
see. We'll see how things develop. But because it is Superman month around these parts, we are sharing with you guys our top 5 Superman characters. And today we have to present our 3 and 2, but Chris hasn't been able to, he hasn't been a part of all this.
Mm.
So Chris, do you have a number 1 most favorite Superman character that is not Superman?
All right, well that ruins it. Funny enough, I've always had a soft spot for Steel. Just because when I
Nice.
was a kid, I actually loved the Shaq Steel movie. I had that VHS on repeat. So, and also there wasn't a online discourse about the movie, so I just watched the movie for what it was, and I was a kid and I thought that was cool. So I always loved that character. But in terms of Superman, I even the best Superman stories I've always liked are kind of like Birthright, All Star Superman. So in terms of like the Superman family, like the only character that I've really liked in that world is Steel.
Awesome. Steel's very cool. Very, very cool. You were one of the only people watching that movie on VHS,
I've
but
probably seen that movie more times than anyone on this planet. It's just-
you should get the Guinness World Record for that. Well, you wouldn't be able to verify it, but you could just
yeah,
pay to get the record.
I mean, all I probably have to say is I saw it once, and they're like, "Hey, here's the record." They're like, "Okay, we believe you. No one would lie about this."
Word. um, actually, Chris, you hanging out for a few more minutes or what's
Yeah,
up?
yeah, like I got like 10, 15 more minutes.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's get through our number 3s and 2s.
Well, I gotta catch up with my number 4.
Oh, true, true, true.
So I actually have, and it's funny that this worked out the way that it did, but um, they're all Superman relationship related. In that, number 4 for me is Wonder Woman. I particularly liked the Charles Soule. I particularly like the Charles Soule uh, uh, Superman Wonder Woman book uh, coming out of the New 52,
Yeah,
and I thought it was a great way to showcase how he can have a non-human relation based relationship. Like they're equivalents, they're equals there, and I think the way that Soul was able to present that was really interesting. So I love that book. I like that dynamic. It's not always one that happens, but I think it makes sense in certain situations. And I don't know it as in DC at least any other kind of like super powered. Those are that's the couple, in the sense that they're so powered. My number 3 is Lana Lang. Love that relationship. It in some of the stuff that I've read, that has always been like Superman's, first love. He whenever he comes back home, he's even in Birthright, he's like kind of obsessed with her, and like asking questions, being thinking about her, and so that as a primer for him and being able to work through relationships um, is great because that ultimately leads to my number two, which is Lois Lane. You know, that's where he finally is able to really grow into himself, have a dynamic with a person where Lois is this strong, fiery uh, contrast to Clark. And then when she starts to learn who he is, I think there's a really cool dynamic there as well. Plus later on as he has kids. So yeah, funny enough, all my 4 to 2 are all his girls, bro.
I had to come up with a clear tomato throwing gif for you, Marco, just for that Wonder Woman take.
Boo this man.
There it is, throwing tomato right at
What,
you
what,
on the screen.
we don't got Wonder Woman fans like that.
Not
Well,
no,
if I
not
knew
you
I could
don't.
choose that, I would have chose Batman.
No, but like you don't fuck your coworker first of all.
Exactly.
Well,
Don't shit where you eat, which Superman would know. That just felt like such a forced thing for me that I was never a fan of it, even in the Superman Wonder Woman book. Like I know people were like, "Oh, this book is good." I couldn't get past the premise of it. Like I know Soul
really,
was good, and I think it was Tony Daniel on art
Tony
too.
Daniel, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I hated it so much. It felt wrong on so many levels.
The one time it worked was in Future State. I really liked John and Yara together. That was a really fun team up and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and sort of like they hinted towards that. So
Well,
I I liked it.
and then I think like Tom King like teased Wonder Woman and Batman as having some form of a weird
Yeah.
relationship in his run. I don't like that. Keep the Trinity a Trinity and not a trio. You know what I mean? Um,
Let's keep things going.
Yeah.
We only got a few minutes
Yeah.
left with Chris.
I can go with mine then. So my number 3 is the sex god himself, Jimmy Olsen. I think
CEO of sex.
yeah, CEO of Sex, Jimmy Olsen. I think he is really important to Superman's mythos. It's Superman's window into the rest of Metropolis and the Everyman, and it helps ground Superman in a way that his love interests don't, because it's not a love interest. It's just a friend, really, and it's somebody who is like a he's got chutzpah. He's kind of a dork. He gets into a whole bunch of shit. He's just fun. The amount of times Jimmy thinks with below the waist instead,
Thanks for this,
and then
Jimmy.
Yeah.
yeah, he thinks of his little Jimmy, and then accidentally becomes a giant turtle kaiju. Like that's just fun stuff. So Jimmy Olsen's definitely number 3, and my number 2 is, and I know I'm glad Gavin's not here because he'd call me out on this. My number 2 is Lois Lane.
Mm,
Lois Lane, I think, is one of the most important comic book characters of all time. Irrelevant to Superman. I think she is probably, like, in a way, one of the first heroes in comics that makes her super important. I love how she can exist outside of Clark and outside of Kal-El and really forge her own path. I think there was that more recently that Greg Rucka run where he returned to Lois Lane, and it was just like her just being an investigative reporter and just getting her shit done, and she doesn't need powers to do it, and there's something just really, really nice about that. But also, she can be what also grounds Superman in another way, and she's John's mom. She has a lot of hats that she wears, and I think she's a great character because of it.
All right. My number 3 is Lex Luthor. Lex is a tremendous character. I love how he represents the absolute peak of humanity, and that's not enough for him. It's very much like if Batman, who is peak human, were jealous of Superman. It gives me that kind of vibe. Like that wouldn't make sense because you're fucking Batman. The core weakness of Lex isn't a lack of strength, it's a lack of belief in himself. And I think that's a very interesting premise for a villain, that what drives him is a core weakness, not a core strength. But it's also what makes him a dangerous, deadly threat to Superman because he is so capable and so powerful, but so weak that he's willing to do whatever it takes to kill this man. And no one is more driven to kill Superman than Lex. Not Darkseid, not anyone. And I don't know if there's another hero with a villain who wants that hero dead as bad. maybe only Black Manta wants Aquaman dead as bad as Lex wants Superman dead. Lex will stop at nothing. There's no one he won't sacrifice. There's nothing he won't do. He'll kill you. He'll kill his grandmother. He'll kill anyone to get at Superman. And that level of hateration is something that I can always get behind. Hats off to Lex for being the supremo hater of the DC universe.
Hater of the year 2025.
Let's
There
go.
you go.
He'll kill
There you
his
go.
granny. He'll kill a falafel worker. He'll do it all.
Hell yeah. I love it. Hate.
Hate.
Yes, yes.
Why he got a nice car? Why he got?
Why he got a cape? Why he got that girl? I want his baddie. Hate.
Hate.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And my number 2 is Brainiac. Brainiac scares me because Brainiac knows the history of not one planet, but all planets. He has the depth of knowledge that almost no one else, certainly no one human, can compete with. And he can take all that historical knowledge, all that future knowledge potentially, everything he has, and throw it at Superman. And not just him, but entire planets. He has planets bottled to experiment on and learn about. That is disturbing. Back in the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank Superman, which is one of the only non PKJ Superman books I've read, he fucking just had all these planets, man. Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? I find Brainiac to be creepy, one of the creepiest villains that exist, and a character who they've modernized to be able to match Superman's brawn and brain, which I really enjoy. So
The one thing I can't get past with Brainiac is his 1950s schoolyard bully slur of a name. Like, Brainiac is kind of a dorky name in my opinion.
oh,
Well, yeah, it's so old school though. Like literally, no one has heard the word Brainiac outside of the context of the character
Yeah,
Brainiac.
yeah.
But like growing up, you would hear like if you watch like old sitcoms and stuff like that, that could be used interchangeably with like nerd or something like
Yeah,
that.
they would have said it in like a Christmas story or something.
But yeah, it's kind of like one of those weird things where like time has actually done that character a lot of favors because now, I didn't even remember that until you just said it. It kind of unlocked like, oh yeah, like people did used to like call people brainiacs and stuff like that.
We need to bring back old school bullying, I think. Like,
Listen,
yeah.
people, and you see it online too. People need to get swirlies. People need to get,
Let's bring the wedgie back.
bring,
and not as a
bring
kink.
back hating, bring back bullying. I think we live in a world of no consequence, and people need to be afraid of saying dumb things.
I've seen this take multiple times lately on the internet. So,
yeah, well, because it is true, like especially being from New York, you live in an environment where it's like everything is a hot stove, and you could kind of like get punched in the face by life. Too many people live in a bubble where it's like, hey, and I know I'm saying that as someone, sharing their opinion online and hot takes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do think that our society would do well if we had like a kind of like people's court where you could take people to court and just be like, hey, this person deserves an ass whipping and this is why. and the court would be like, okay, yeah, you can. So
Twitter.
you are spitting right now. I would love to break some Twitter fingers. I experience secondhand embarrassment and genuine anger when I see New Yorkers who run off at the mouth like that, but they do it behind a screen or behind their Twitter fingers. Like, you're so lame, dude. If you do that type of shit, you're so lame.
Sean,
Like, be a man.
they're called X fingers.
X.
The everything.
They will be X fingers when I break them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think society would do well, just because we have no real life consequence. And but I will say, part of what makes the Comic Pals so great is that it's such a great community of people that respect each other's opinions and is what the internet should be, of like, hey, let's foster and explore, curiosity. And it's like, oh, I never thought about that. Like Tyler bringing up that Brainiac thing is like, oh yeah, now I'm going to probably figure out how to watch like, a marathon of Leave It to Beaver on YouTube or something like that. Like that's what the internet should be, not what I know I'm going on a tangent and I don't have much time, but just wanted to say, commend the Pals verse for creating such a community that is inspiring of creating real fun comic book talk as it should be.
Well, you can experience more of Chris's comic book talk over on his channel, Nightwing Stan. I have been watching some of the stuff that you've been
Thank you.
doing, and I enjoy it. Keep it up, man.
Mhm.
You are killing it. I mean, you created this channel. You told me like what 9 months ago, six
A
months
year
ago,
now.
a
Last
year.
time we saw, which time flies because we saw each other like 2 months ago, like a year in July. If you watch like the second or the third video, I'm actually like recording a video on vacation. Like you'll see me on the poolside. So it's been fun, and part of that has been inspired by you guys, what you've created, like creating an environment where hey, it's safe to kind of like talk about certain things and also challenge certain things, and without sort of like using buzzwords and things that have no meaning anymore, and be like, hey, like let's talk about comics. I love comics. Let's do that.
Hell yeah. So make sure you guys subscribe to Nightwing Stan. Go do that. You may well see Chris here on the channel.
Mm,
Occasionally, we'll talk about that
yeah, yeah.
and see where things go. But it's been awesome having you on, man. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, especially before work, to come on here and hang with us. This grind ain't for everybody, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking part in it with us today.
Like, listen, my day is now ruined because I'm gonna go to work and be like, I could have been with the pals
Aw,
a lot longer. So appreciate you guys for having me on.
Man,
absolutely.
my man's on two different grinds, bro.
Yeah,
Podcasting game and that life game.
And
yeah. Grind set,
I'm
grind
familiar
set.
with
That's it.
your day job too, so
yeah,
that's a different grind.
yeah, yeah. Listen, man, I saw like it was either a TikTok comment or a tweet where someone was like, I hated a job so much I used to watch vlogs of people quitting just just to get wish that it was me. It's like, oh, one day.
To feel
Uh,
something.
yeah, just to feel the exhilaration. But yeah, appreciate you guys again. You guys are really inspiring, and I love what you guys do.
Thank you.
It's one of the few places on the internet that talks about comics in a real, authentic way, and it's a great community. Like the Discord is amazing, and it's been super cool.
Awesome, dude. Thank you again for joining us
Mhm.
today. We're gonna let Chris go, but it's been great, and we'll talk again soon, dude.
All right,
Yeah, see you,
peace,
bud.
guys.
Take care. We are not going anywhere. We've still got more show to do, and we are going to. Well, before we turn things over to the next segment, there's a mini segment, a side quest segment percolating in the chat right now that we have to address because Tyler put Lois Lane at number 2 in his Superman list, and Gavin has arrived at the perfect time and was Tyler was
I
exposed
got
by
ratted
the
out.
chat within seconds. Within seconds. There is no loyalty.
Damn.
There is no loyalty. The chat is not loyal to Tyler. The exposure happened so fast. We didn't even
Damn.
get to say hello to Gavin before the exposure happened. Wow.
No, it's like he had it copied and copied already on the clipboard. And it's like, all right, here we go. Gavin's in. Command V, Control V, whatever he's using. Damn.
Damn,
Got that
dude.
After everything I've done for you, I'm hitting this stop stream button right now. You guys got to remember, I have that button.
The power.
I have the
Don't
power. I
test
can
me.
end this all, baby.
You know what? I'm glad that the chat ratted you at Tyler, because nobody will remember that I had Lois Lane at number 2 as well.
Well,
so
Yeah, too. What the fuck?
What's wrong with you?
nothing. I'm here shrinking away, letting Tyler get the heat.
You just exposed yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you know,
Wow.
exposing yourself on
wow,
stream,
wow.
there could be worse ways of doing that.
all the time, dude.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay. You expose yourself on stream all the time?
Damn.
All the time.
Jeffrey Tubin over here.
Unreal. Chat saying they like Chris as a guest. I'm glad you guys feel that way. This comment I love by Mike Verteeks is a great comment. The Comics Pals is because has become the Justice League Unlimited of comic channels. I love that. Like we said, you're gonna see regular guests, guest pals, and Chris could be one of those on the regular if you guys enjoyed him. keep telling us which people you've enjoyed. Who do you want us to get back? Who do you want to see, team up with us?
I like how there's a couple good issues here. Good comments here. Izzy's issue says regarding Marco's number 2 pick. Yeah, but people don't pay attention to Marco's takes because they know he's never read a comic.
Never, bro.
Just Swamp Thing, apparently.
Just that's all you need, really.
And then my critique says that, bro, the Kale Void is so big, we're getting 50 guests just fill that hot dog size hole in our hearts. 52, actually. We're keeping
There
it
it
DC
is.
themed.
Yeah, Chris was great. Love hearing his opinions, and we're gonna keep the guests coming for sure. One of my favorite guests um, is coming back soon, and I'm very much looking forward to him. BJ Kicks is going to be joining us here soon.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep the rotating roster. It's been fun so far. Gavin was here with us last week. That was fun as fuck. Love having Gavin.
Victor, too, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we got plans. We got plans, man. Ultimate August. It's gonna be fun. This train is not stopping for anything. And if anything, it's only accelerating.
And
So,
honestly, if you guys got people that you'd like for us to chat with, let us know. We could put some feelers out there.
mhm.
We
Send an
had to
email.
do some vetting out first, but
Yeah. Send an email.
yeah.
All right. We've got a Patreon pal question of the week. Either of you want to tackle that, please?
Yeah, I got it. I guess got to break my neck to get this other screen. Okay, so who's it from, Sean? Does it say?
If it doesn't, that's my bad. But it's from shit. It's from Entertain Me.
Entertain Me. Okay. Entertain Me says, I just read that in 10 years it will be DC's 100-year anniversary. And following that, it seems DC will lose the rights to the Trinity and the Joker. So what are your thoughts on that? Especially considering that with them losing the rights, Marvel would be allowed to use the characters in their comics and not face any legal consequences. Could Marvel or an indie comic buy the rights to the characters overall? So to answer your last question, no. I believe it becomes public domain. It's not like the rights are up for grabs. It's public domain
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
So everyone could kind of, it's just the grab bag. It exists within the public domain with characters like Popeye now and Steamboat Willie and stuff like that.
Dracula.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it feels like one of those situations where will somebody like really step on it? Especially knowing the history and the legacy, like it almost feels like that would be disrespectful if another company outside of parody, if they were serious about it, were to start publishing a book called Batman in the same way.
All right. So before we take this conversation too far, DC has announced that they are going to begin building towards their 100th anniversary over the next 10 years, which is very cool. Uh, the fact that they're making this announcement 10 years out, it's going to be interesting to see how they actually plan on celebrating going forward. But at San Diego Comic Con, there will be um, some things for you to experience that kind of deal with um, their history. So that's very cool. Um, the booth at San Diego Comic Con this year will cover 1935 through 45, and then in 2026 it'll cover 1945 through 55,
Oh.
which means that by the time we get to 2034, that will be covering 2025 to 2035. And at that point, these characters will be officially public domain. Now, to your sort of idea, um, Entertain Me, there is no doubt in my mind that these characters will begin to pop up all over the place. It happened very recently with Winnie the Pooh, where we started to see all these fucking like horror Winnie the Pooh things and stuff like that. Will Marvel be out the gate with their Superman thing or their Batman thing? No. They're going to whatever they're going to do with it, which I imagine they will do something. It won't be right away. because there's going to be thoughtfulness put towards it and things like that. You're not going to be able to sign someone up sign someone up to write Batman before they can literally do it legally. So it'll be some time, but yes, we are 1000% going to see that.
I don't think we will.
Okay.
I think that especially like Marvel using Superman and stuff, they can't use the logo because that is going to be copyright. Because it's a logo, it won't be public domain. It's something else entirely. They would only be able to use the first iterations of those characters, which I'm sure DC will argue. So this Superman won't be able to fly. This Batman will use guns. Down the line, sure, as things progress in time, they would be able to use different aspects of those characters that are then in the public domain, sure. But there's just no monetary reason for them to do this. Why would they want to use a character they don't have the IP over?
Sell comics.
I think the furthest it's going to get is a scrappy creator using that as a wink and a nod. It's going to be what would typically have been in a silhouette will be a little more direct. I think art-wise, I think we'll just see a little more clearer depictions of what these analogous characters would be. I think we're more likely to see as soon as this becomes Superman becomes public domain, he's going to be in Savage Dragon, sure.
Yeah, there.
That's where I think it's more likely to be seen. I think of like Donnie Cates' crossover, where like the furthest they can get was showing the person's arm, and with an iconic, red and blue color costume on it. I just think those things will just be more direct. I don't think there's any real like why would Marvel put out a Superman #1 when they don't have all the aspects of them they would want, when they can just shore up and put their money behind something like a Hyperion, which they can do if they wanted to.
Yeah, any other character for that matter.
Yeah. I think you're going to see plenty of horror movies, though. So get ready for your Batman Who Kills People with Guns movie coming out from a Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, in the independent space and the grassroots space, 100%, because those are the people that are going to want to do that. But for some kind of conglomerate, a bigger company, I don't know that it's of interest.
Yeah, like Kurt Welch says, we're going to get more things like the People's Joker. I think the fact that the People's Joker did it when it was still copyrighted is more impressive. And I love that movie. That movie was great. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more of that.
Entertain me. I am not headed to San Diego. I cannot afford a ticket to go to San Diego. I'm not on my way to that event. It'd be cool though. One day, hopefully. CW Gordon says we already had a terrible Batman fan project. It was called Gotham. That was okay for a season.
That was there are some good things about that. I thought the Riddler was pretty good in that.
Luna says, I mean, you don't see DC using classic Mickey. What would be the reason though? Like that they're no one's interested in that. People want to see Superman in a Marvel comic. Like you can't that's a fact. Whether or not they'll do it is up to Marvel, but do people want to see it? Would they pay to see it? Of course they would.
And funnily enough, Mickey showed up in Savage Dragon. He was trying to cuck out Savage Dragon and his wife.
Stop. Wow.
He's a recurring character now. It's pretty great.
Book is so good.
Thank you, Entertain Me, for submitting that question. Anybody who is a Pals vs. Legend can submit a Patreon Pal question, one a month, and we will take them and talk about them on the show. So thank you for giving us an opportunity to discuss that subject. Appreciate you, dude.
Mike Critique has a question here. Does anyone know what San Diego means? Is it a whale of something? I can't remember. I believe it was an old wooden ship used in the Civil War era, Mike. If that helps you out.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about Marvel. Marvel has blown the roof off of X-Men Age of Revelation. We got the 0-issue stealth drop this week that many of us were unable to acquire, physically at least, including myself. But it is out there, and we sort of know the path they're taking to get us into this event. And now they have announced what all of these crazy tie-in books are going to be. They are revamping their almost their entire line, whether they're launching a new book or they are re reorienting a current book and shifting its focus towards all this craziness. And so we got detail about, if not all, the majority of these books. And so here are the ones that we know about. Amazing X-Men #1 is going to be by Jed McKay with art by Mahmoud Asrar. X years later, which is what they're all of these books are taking place X years later. X years later simply means in the age of Revelation. So
Okay.
on the run after a deadly clash with Revelation's chief assassin, the Shattered X-Men desperately gamble everything on one last mission. With help from an unexpected ally, they venture into the haunted ruins of Greymalkin. What they find there may change everything if they survive.
Okay.
Okay?
This was the Amazing X-Men one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be. This is essentially the one replacing Jed McKay's. Like everyone kind of has like a counterpart of what they're replacing, in a way. I'm gonna. This one I will be checking out no matter what. Honestly, even for the old trade dressing alone, I do like that old X-Men logo.
I like that it's on the side.
Oh, not
Um.
even that. The actual like Amazing X-Men. Like it's more
Oh,
classic.
sure.
Yeah.
Um. I feel like coming out of Age of Revelation, the book itself, I was down on it, but I want to like the X-Men. If this is the next wave, the next iteration, right? I'm gonna put the past behind, and I'm gonna take this as much as face value with as much excitement as possible. So I'm hyped that Amazing as a title is coming back because I did like that series, and that's one of the some of the first X-Men books that I read. So I'm excited.
I don't care. This would be the one that I would probably follow if I were going to follow this event, just because it's written by Jed, and I loved the Zero issue so much. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, but then he's going to be writing a team here, and I've never read anything he wrote with a team that I enjoyed. So yeah, it's hard to muster up excitement for that because of that.
So
Binary, go ahead.
where's your excitement going out of the Zero issue read? It's just dissipating.
Nowhere. Yeah, I'm not.
Gotcha.
Damn.
I'm not.
There's no KO
going-
event to try and harness the power of your excitement.
I'm not going to be allowing myself to get excited for any of this. There's no
Okay,
reason to.
that's fair.
Binary, written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Giada Belviso. X years later, in the ashes of the old world, to survive, she is reborn. A cosmic force channeling the Phoenix itself. With the universe crumbling, Binary returns to save what's left. But power, this great, always comes with a price. And the end of everything must begin with her.
So is it Jean Grey?
Does
No
it say-
binary.
Hate you. I mean, it's Stephanie Phillips. I'm liking her Phoenix book. Sure, why not? It's not Kamala like I posited, but sure.
Laura Kinney, Sabretooth, Erica Schultz, Valentina Pinti. She's taken the name of once bitter enemy Sabretooth and fights beside Revelation himself. Why did Laura Kinney abandon her legacy? What secrets does she keep from the mutant world? When loyalty changes, blood means everything.
Interesting.
Ain't no way she ever actually becomes Sabretooth. I don't believe this.
I mean that's the pull, right? That's the draw there.
But-
That's interesting.
That's not even like taking up the Wolverine mantle makes sense. She has DNA in here. It's essentially her father figure. This is saying, hey, fuck my dad so much, I'm going to associate with his worst enemy. Not even somebody who was like she had a relationship with. It's like, no, screw you, dad. I'm your worst enemy now. Like, what happened there?
You have to read the book to find out.
Oh god, another mantle, huh?
Yep.
That's my problem with it. It's just like Laura is just that character you do that with, I guess. Just give her multiple mantles, like because they did it. She's X-23, then she's Wolverine, now she's Sabretooth. Like it's
Give
not an
her
original idea.
her own thing.
Yeah. I don't I've never enjoyed that. I feel like it diminishes her. And they're just continuing. Cosmic November. This is Laura's Red Hood phase. Yeah.
Mm.
Are you saying give her a gun? Because then I might be on board.
Long Shots by Jerry Duggan and Jonathan Hickman, allegedly. Art by Alan Robinson. This is what they say. Buy this comic or all of your favorite heroes will die. They then go on to list these characters: Mojo, Wonder Man, Hellcat, Bishop, Rhino, and Craven. I want them to die. Except Bishop.
Bishop's cool.
You're not selling me on the book by telling me that they're going to die if I don't buy it. I ain't fucking buying it. There's a new game that Mojo's got. There are no rules. One survivor wins, the others die. Mojo promises you can vote for the winners with your dollars, but you probably can't. Mojo cannot promise that promise that any of this is true or that you can even vote, as all decisions will be made by Mojo and Mojo alone. In his Mojo Dojo, it's fame or fatality.
Hell yeah, I'm in.
Oh, come on.
I love Mojoverse. I love Spiral. I love Longshot. This is like my weird part of X-Men that I really like. And Hellcat's in it? Hell yeah. I do like how Hickman is in his fuck it, whatever phase, you know? Because he's doing Imperial and great work there. And then he's probably plotting this weird-ass tie-in. Like, people wanted Hickman back at X-Men. Here you go, guys. You're getting what you wanted.
Oh man, this feels so wacky, and Mojo is one of those things that like I've never been a fan of in the universe, so I'm cold on this.
I am ice cold on this.
Wow.
There's just nothing here for me at all. God Almighty, this sounds.
Hype, 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 hype.
Yeah. My bad. World of Revelation #1. Ryan North, Al Ewing, and Steve Fox.
Oh.
All right. Adam Zalowski and Jesus Moreno and more on the art side of things.
Oh.
The world outside your window is gone. What they claim. My window's right over there.
Call
and
a
I can see the
contractor.
world.
Yeah.
What happened to the Fantastic Four? And what horrors plague the East Coast? How does the rest of the world survive the rise of Revelation? And far above, on Araco, what does Apocalypse think of his heir's new empire? Discover the far-reaching impact of Age of Revelation across the Marvel Universe. So, they got Al Ewing on this, and this is going to deal with Araco. We back. X-Men Red back.
This feels like a lot of like Ryan North dealing with the Fantastic Four in this too. This feels like your place setter, world builder kind of issue. That's kind of explaining the things on the periphery. Sure. We just questioned Araco the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they, I guess Al was watching the show, and came up with a solicit that came out the same day.
Man, I guess cool that they're touching on something that, again, like remnants of Krakoa. Like, yeah, I feel like that's the first thing that comes into my mind. Like, why bother? But right.
Hello?
You're good.
Hello?
Yeah.
I think my computer is crashing.
Well, yep, there it is.
Yep, there it is. That was so funny. He's like, "What?"
All right, we need to get those comic books working for Sean. Jeez.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
not like I told
ASAP.
you guys this months ago.
Well. And before
tariffs, yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
before tariffs too. Yeah.
Look at me trying to future-proof us. Oh no. All right, I guess I'll go through the rest of these. Marco, do you have the list here?
That's the last one. World of Revelation was the last one.
No, it's not. We have more. I'll bring it up on my phone. I don't know if. It
Oh,
was
I got it. All right. Continuing through, The Last Wolverine by Saladin Ahmed.
Nope, we're
and,
going through the wrong way. Hold on, let me. I'll get it. Yeah, because we have.
You have an order.
Yeah, there's like an order here. Sorry, I'm gonna be that guy here. All right, we have Unbreakable X-Men #1. This one, I think this is the Gail Simone one. Let's bring this up here. Yeah, so this is written by Gail Simone, art and cover by Lucas Wernick. Oh, we gotta go to the 2-man now. Yeah,
Okay.
so this is dealing with Cry Mutant, Cry Blood. X years later, and the uncanny X-Men have been shattered by loss and tragedy and scattered to different locations around the world. At Haven House, only 3 remain, wounded, grieving, and guarding the portal to the terrifying penumbra. Can they stop the thundering darkness that has lurked below the surface for centuries, screaming to break free, or will they fail, and watch a vengeful god bring an army of tormented souls to the surface, crying for mutant blood? Did you? I wasn't there for the episode you guys talked about it. Did you like the penumbra stuff?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, where Gail gets to tell her story in this whole world.
Cool on that part, but man, I feel like also we've been so disconnected. I've been so disconnected from the X world here that like the creative team picking up like cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's Gambit. Skeletonagi has a question here. I have a question about the character of Revelation. I have only read Ten of Swords. Do I need to read anything before that in order to prepare for this upcoming series? Oh boy!
That's far and away from what this is gonna be, but no, just pick up the Zero issue.
Yeah, just pick up the Zero issue. If you really want to read anything more, there was that Heir of Apocalypse miniseries
Yes.
that was right after Krakoa. If you know who the idea of Apocalypse is, those are probably the only 2 books you really need to read. And then maybe the most recent issue of X-Men. But I'm sure you can just jump into this. Sean, we just tackled Unbreakable X-Men. I don't know if you want to continue from there.
All right. Cool. Awesome. The last Wolverine #1. This is Salad Ahmed and Edgar Salazar. What happened to Wolverine? The people of Vancouver cheer a new hero, the wonderful Wolverine, aka the Wendigo.
Wendigo!
Logan's last Logan's last student. But what happened to Logan? A secret from Logan's past will set the last Wolverine on a mission to uphold his mentor's legacy, unless a dire threat burns it all down first.
I gotta say, I kind of dig this character design. The Wendigo just wearing Wolverine's costume is such a stupid idea that I kind of dig it. It feels like somebody like Kit Bash an action figure. They're like, oh, here's this new character I made out of action figure parts.
Gluing
Sure,
it together.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, this is so wacky. Um, I don't even know how to feel about it. Cool. I might pick this one up. This looks stupid.
It looks stupid and I won't pick it up because of that. I just can't with this shit. By the way, guys, I'm really sorry about my computer today. No one's more frustrated than me about it, but I apologize to you guys. Yeah, to me this is just like what I don't read comics for. And the whole thing is that and I know I'll be accused of thinking, thinking too much of myself or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. It's simply that, I feel like the X-Men are not on a good trajectory, and throwing everything out to tell this story right now feels like an awkward choice. Like, establish something that we can get behind before you upend it for months at a time. It's just like, I don't know, man.
I think you were supposed to be in that. You're supposed to be in this established world right now, and we're just so far out of it, dude.
And I think this is at least ties in thematically to Ahmed's current Wolverine run, where it's like a near future of what can be in that run. So like I see narratively like that, you know what I mean? But it's happening for everyone, and they're kind of like forced to tell this near future story that kind of ruins the flow of whatever they were pretty much selling concurrently before.
Luna says I might pick up the Laura Kinney for the covers, but I'll wait for the dollar bin for that. That's crazy.
You might be able
dude.
to wait for the nickel bin for that one.
Yeah.
Give it 2
Luna's
years.
funny. Oh man. Omega Kids #1. Tony Fleeks, Andres Genolet on art. Kid Omega's all grown up. Quentin Quire protects the dream of mutant supremacy and independence as head of Revelation Territory's spy network. Wow, what a douche. But when a conspiracy threatens the mutant utopia, Quire and his psychic students will have to distinguish friend from foe. Has Quentin got what it takes to carry the dream forward, or will the next generation replace the former revolutionary?
God, I hate this. Here's why. Two reasons. You can't be called Kid Omega when you're an adult. Come on. Secondly, Quentin Quire he was the young, anti-fascist kind of punk kid, and now he's the CIA?
Dude, it always happens, bro. What happened to all those free love motherfuckers, man? They grew up to run this shit. They did this to the world.
Unless that's the story they're telling. How does that
I-
happen? And he hates himself for it or something. Sure, then maybe there's something compelling here. But on paper, it's like, oh no, and you have child soldiers too? Come on. Although I do want one of those jackets. I could wear that for like this and the KO event.
Yeah, right.
Kid Omega, KO. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe there's something there.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I like Tony Fleecs as a writer. I just finished reading the first volume of Feral while I was on a plane. So I do like his writing. I'm gonna pick it up for him, but I've little expectation.
Yeah. The less I say, the better. Radioactive Spider-Man #1, Joe Kelly, with Kev Walker on art. So not either of the mainline artists for Spider-Man, but grabbing Kev Walker, that's pretty awesome.
I love Kev Walker. Kev Walker did Marco, you would love it. Avengers Arena. Which was essentially Battle Royale, the movie for all the young heroes in Marvel at the time. It's a great 30 issue-ish story, but Kev killed it on that, and he did a lot of books around that era, right, Sean? Around post Civil War era.
Oh, sure.
He's got a distinct look to him.
Yeah. Kev Walker's
Interesting.
done a lot of stuff that both of us really like. Unfriendly and unstable. The X virus decimated New York, but Spider-Man won't stop fighting. In a desperate gamble, Peter doses himself with lethal radiation to hold the infection at bay. Survival comes at a cost. While this may not kill Peter Parker, it sure messes him up. This is the most dangerous, mutated Spider-Man ever. And he's not alone. So on this cover, he has some nasty little arms. He's got that scream, that Scary Movie
Yeah,
2
you got the
little
strong
baby
hand.
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
What are those reaching? They look like a T-Rex hand. What are you doing with that? Actually,
Yeah.
you can do the
What?
Stranger with that one if you guys know what that is.
Oh no.
One of them is a tentacle.
Two of them are
Oh, hold
tentacles.
on. Let
Two of
me
them, yeah.
get that injection real quick.
But oh no. Dude,
Mm-mm.
this is Joe Kelly. I have full faith in this
Dude.
guy now. This is gonna be the book to read.
He just said, "Yo, let me turn a Spider-Man into a walking bad dragon right quick."
Gross.
First of all, there's a lie in the solicit because this is not the most mutated version of Spider-Man we've ever seen. We saw Spider-Man become a straight up disgusting spider.
Doppelganger.
Anybody remember that?
Yeah, doppelganger, right?
Not Doppelganger.
Oh, okay.
Man
Doppelganger's
spider.
his own guy. Man Spider, yeah. What the fuck? That's just a lie. I want him to look grotesque, and maybe he will in the book. We don't know, but I want him to look grotesque.
Word, right? Actually, yeah, now you say that.
Yeah, have fun with it. Yeah,
You take
it's
this
just-
guy.
Yeah.
He just
He
looks
just
like
looks
a
regular Spider-Man with a baby arm.
he
what
looks
the fuck?
like Sid from Toy Story got a hold of a Spider-Man action figure.
Yes. There you go. Nah, that's not it. Anyway,
Although the storyline could be interesting. I like Joe
could
Kelly
be.
stuff. Yeah, and this is Amazing Spider-Man's not pausing for this, is it?
no.
Okay.
Better
That's
not.
one of the books that's going to continue its
Yeah, it's got
trajectory.
plans. That's why you can't be pausing it for a decent amount of time.
Good.
Hey, if pausing it would mean we'd get more Pepe Larraz, I'd say pause it, but they ain't about to pause them spider books. So the train must go on. X-Men Book of Revelation #1, Jed McKay, Netho Diaz. Sorry.
Also known as Jetho. That we should do that for all creative teams going forward. Give them
Yeah.
like Benifer names,
Joe Kelly and Kev Walker, Jev. Doesn't work with everybody.
No.
The game of power commences after the assassination of one of his prized choristers. Revelation or choristers, whatever choristers. Revelation welcomes a new mutant to his capital city of Philadelphia. The idea that Philadelphia would ever be the capital of anything is just
You know who might be there, actually?
Pete-
Known mutant,
Pete?
Canadian Wolverine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
But the capital of Revelation territories hides many dangers, not the least of which are her rival choristers, and Fabian Cortez will allow no one to challenge him for Revelation's favor. But this new mutant has a secret ally, the Ghost of Philadelphia.
Is it Ben Franklin? Are we bringing Deadpool's Ben Franklin back? Do you
That's
remember him?
crazy.
Oh my god, man.
This sounds so stupid. I'm into it. And it's Philly too, so like, there's gonna be a mutant whose mutant power is being able to throw batteries. He just greases up all the poles for everyone. That's his mutant power.
Oh my god, dude.
Crowd control.
This is so bad. Like,
Somebody make a new mutant and just call him Cheesesteak.
please don't.
Oh.
It just continues to be goofy, and like not in a sensible way.
The Ghost of Philadelphia? What the fuck?
Yeah, the Ghost of Philadelphia.
Oh my god. That's
Is
just
Jed
crazy.
McKay from Philly? Like, I know it used to be the it used to be the capital of the U.S., but like, this feels targeted.
He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be. He doesn't look like he is though, but I don't know. Kurt Wildshut said Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly. Grank.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
Grank in your Ogs, the new absolute.
Oh. Oh no. Granks. Jed's Canadian.
Oh, well,
There
the
you go.
Philadelphia
Okay,
of
yeah.
the North America.
There you go. Oh my god. I'm sorry guys. I don't mean to be so negative, but this is just not for me. Like I told you, I'm dropping all X books. I can buy Radioactive Spider-Man, but just because I can doesn't mean I will. I'm trying to think differently. Can and will. Yes, I can buy the books. Should I buy the books? Marvel's telling me no based on these solicits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's funny you say that you're dropping all the books. You're just not picking these up. That's all it is. You dropped them.
Yeah, exactly. It's already decided.
Cosmic November says this is cheesier than a Philly cheesesteak, and I love it. That's kind of where I'm landing on this, actually.
No.
I already admitted I probably will read each number one, and we'll do quick takes on the podcast come October. But if you start seeing my beard get grosser and grosser as October progresses, that is just a visual indicator of how well these books are doing.
I don't know how I feel about that, so I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, keep going.
Expatriate X-Men #1, Eve Ewing with Francesco Mortarino. Like the fallen and reassembled United States, the new team of Miss Marvel, Bronze, Melee, and Rift rises. Oh, interesting. They have seized control of the Mississippi River waters that divide mutant kind from the rest of humanity. Feared and powerful, their guerrilla tactics keep them in control until a high-stakes mission to extract a valuable asset threatens to tear them apart. Can they hold together when everything's on the line? This is the first one so far that I am interested in.
This is the one that is like kind of like exceptional. Although, what's his face is missing here. The guy who has the skin color changing thing with emotional spectrum.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
He's not Rift. I don't know who the hell Rift is. He looks like a BMX biker here. But Melee and Metal and Bronze are in this, so that's exciting. Colossus is doing something for once. Mystique is in this as well.
I have become a fan of Eve Ewing.
Yeah.
Exceptional is the best of the best of the X Team books.
Yep.
So it's not a surprise that the pitch for this one appeals to me, given who's writing it.
And I think because she's writing it, I trust that. I trust that pen.
Yeah. Axo.
Yeah. But Mississippi River and the U.S. is split in half, I guess, straight down the middle. All right.
Sure, whatever they say. Cloak or Dagger
All right.
Justina Ireland, Lorenzo Tometa, ghosted. X years later, Tandy and Tyrone have tied the knot, but their bond has come with a terrible cost. Now they can no longer exist on the same plane at the same time. Reunited at last, the pair now face a love story warped by power and fate. No.
Just no.
Hey, at least Marvel Rival fans finally have something.
Yeah, it'd be sick as shit if it was Cloak and Dagger.
No, or Dagger. They can't. They just got married. They can't see each other anymore.
Great. Yeah, great. How are they going to consummate that fucking marriage?
Over
Don't.
voice note. I don't know.
Jesus. Chat, which of these are you excited about? Let me find out. Which of you are into this.
Entertain Me says pick of the week. He's calling it right now.
Stop it. You're entertained by this? The bar is low for you, my friend. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean that.
Speaking of a low bar,
Undeadpool number
There we
1.
go.
Tim Seeley. Sorry?
I've said speaking of a low bar, and then I was
There
setting
we
you up
go.
for Undeadpool. Yeah.
Tim Seeley, Carlo Magno. The virus ravaging the Revelation territories has finally made Wade Wilson into what he always wanted to be, a mutant. But not like this. Not like this. Deadpool's healing factor is on overdrive, his mind a passenger in a body that hungers and cannot be sated, unless he devours the life force of mutants. His next targets are the new blood known as Fearless, Magni, Kid Man-Thing, and Fantastica. It's Deadpool like you've never seen.
He's like Kid Man Thing.
Yeah, this was on the Zero issue. Wasn't there like concept art in the background and the back matter? And Kid Man Thing was in there. I think Fantastica was in there too.
And I believe Fearless is one of the Kid Omega
Okay.
members.
All right, dude. These are,
I'm just not into Deadpool books. I'm sorry.
but like, these have negative heat, dude. Anti heat. This is anti X Men.
We in the biz call it X-Pac heat, Marco.
It very much X-Pac heat, go away heat. Especially you're talking about Deadpool, man. Oh, jeez, dude. Jeez. Should have got Cody Ziegler. Nothing against Tim Seeley, but he's been doing the Deadpool stuff, so at least there'd be that
That's a good point.
continuity.
That's a good point.
But maybe he's busy. You said you guys spoke about Unbreakable, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So Rogue Storm, Maria Iodell, who's been killing it on the Storm book. We do have to give him credit there.
Yep.
Roland Bashi on art. Earth's gods gone. Only Aurora Monroe, the mutant god of storms, remains. She is a goddess driven mad by the dark magic and grief. Now, as Storm threatens to freeze the world into a new ice age, Rogue leads a team of killers and legends. Gateway, Iceman, Phantom X, Spiral, and Warpath. The sole mission of this Uncanny X-Force, kill Storm.
Phantom X mention. Let's go.
Why not call this like Uncanny X-Force Rogue Storm or Mission Storm? Like I feel like that Uncanny X-Force branding is much more interesting than Rogue Storm. Like what do I make
Well,
of that?
I guess none of these books have actual branding. You know what I mean? Like none of them
Yeah.
are pre-existing things. They're all new. And Rogue
Yeah.
Storm sounds like a movie that would have been on the Sci-Fi Channel. You know,
Right,
So-
like Storm's gone rogue,
yeah,
Storm.
yeah,
I
or,
guess,
yeah, it's just it's a storm full of ice spiders or some shit like that.
On this episode of Rogue Storm.
Yeah. Actually, I think I've convinced myself to be interested in this. I think the premise is good enough, and I like how the Storm book has been. So this kind of feels like a dark future of like what that version of Storm could be like if she broke bad in a way. So that's probably fun for the creative team, but I don't know.
This is one that I would be into to at least trying. The idea of a Storm who's bad or driven crazy or whatever, I'm into that. And Rogue leading the X Force, I'm definitely into that.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for this one mission. I like that. Chat seems to be interested in this one. I see some Cloak or Dagger love. as well. C.W. Gordon said, hasn't Alyssa Wong been doing Deadpool? No, most recently it's been Cody Ziegler on Deadpool.
Well,
And
Wong was previous to that.
yeah, also on Deadpool's and Wolverines. So
Wait, Sean, you said Storm was leading that Uncanny Force?
No, Rogue is.
no, Rogue.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
To kill
maybe
Storm.
I misspoke, but Rogue. Yeah. What super job? Why isn't this called Rogue or Storm?
That's funny.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me get Brever on the phone. Give me 1 sec.
Right? I'd love to get him on this podcast.
We have some
Sorry.
I was gonna say we have a direct discussion about him on something coming out soon.
We do. Iron and Frost. Cavan Scott leaving the Star Wars segment of Marvel to come over here and tell an X story with art by Rairi Coleman. I hope I didn't butcher that. After 3K's devastating terrorist attack cost Tony Stark and Emma Frost everything, the Heartless Queen returns to what remains of her past. Secrets hide in the ruins of New York. The Hellfire Club has a dangerous new leader. I read Heartless Queen. I think Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry. That's just where my mind goes. I didn't care about Tony and Emma when they were together before during Krakoa. I don't care now. This is a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
More Hellfire Club stuff.
I'm good.
Cover
fine.
is fire.
Cover's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like not my style.
I'm sure the variants will be nice.
Dude, these books are gonna have so many variants.
Oh, so much, especially that Rogue Storm one.
That's the actual idea, is put out a whole bunch of books, you can get a whole bunch of variants and be like, no, X books are doing great, actually. Sales are up.
Ooh, man.
Not wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be a no from me, dog. And my least favorite of all of these announcements, by far, I would read all of these other ones on a loop to avoid this one. Sinisters 6. Written by David Marquez, who's got The Unchosen out now, which he also wrote. Which I am much more interested in than this. Art by Rafael Lorero. A sinister heist. Mr. Sinister assembles an elite strike force to take his rightful place on the throne of Revelation. What has Sinister offered Havoc, Black Cat, Domino, Omega Red, Phantom X, and Venom to convince them to take on impossible odds? Are Sinister's misfits throwing their lives away, or has Revelation underestimated how far his subjects will go when there's nothing left to lose? Dude, kill me now. This is my 13th reason. I don't want this. I gotta go.
This is the one I'm most excited for.
Oh, Tyler, yes.
I think this is so stupid. I'm into it. Like, I love Havoc, and I love when Havoc gets to lead a team that he doesn't want to lead.
Yeah.
Havoc never wants to be a leader, and he just winds up being a leader, and he hates it. He just doesn't want to be Cyclops, and I get it. But I'm down. I don't know why Black Cat's a furry in this world. I guess she gets mutated at some point. Which Venom is here? And also, this isn't Phantom X. This is Cluster. Let's be real. Let's give her actual name. This is the female Phantom X. She goes by Cluster now. I don't know. I might have just been onto this alone just from the title. It's so dumb.
I'm here for Havoc. That's my guy.
Oh, read X Factor then, dude. The most recent X Factor run. He's the leader of the team.
Nah.
Oh, well, he's not your dude then. Fake fan.
These suits are whack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of dig it. I don't know why I like this so much.
Did David Marquez design?
He did the cover.
If David Marquez designed them, they would look
different.
immaculate.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, it's him on the cover. I don't know if he designed it, but he definitely drew the cover.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. C.W. Gordon, David Marquez is writing this, which again may surprise you because he's an artist typically, but he is stretching his writing muscles, and this is one of those books.
Did you read Unchosen? Did you get to it at all?
I didn't, but I'm excited about it. Yeah, where's Zeb Wells?
He's probably writing something for Marvel Studios again at this point.
I would have loved to see him be a part of this.
or anything in Marvel.
Well,
Yeah.
fair enough. I mean, we know he's doing the DC Marvel crossover, so cool. But what else? Hector J, lol, you guys hate the X line. Yes, actually. Right now, I personally, me, Sean, I despise the X line. Yes. But I love the X-Men. Traditionally, this is my bag. It was X-Men comics that first got me involved in reading comics. I love the X-Men to death. I am not an X-Men hater, but I do not like this line. Yeah, you're right.
Hater of this era.
Yeah.
Hey Adam. Hi. First time catching y'all live. Love the channel. I've been following for a couple weeks now. Welcome. Enjoy. Thank you so much. Hope you're liking the X-Men a little more than us.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you catching us live. Thank you for hanging out. I'm sorry that you're coming in at a time where we are ragging on what's going on, but we have to be honest about, what we're feeling, and I am not feeling this.
It is fine.
Correct.
Brewer's going to come over and unplug Sean's computer again any minute now. So
Yeah.
Word. This, yeah, really should just end the show because who knows when it can happen again. Luna says, I wonder how long this will go for. I don't know, but all of these number ones drop within the month of October. In fact,
Jesus.
they all drop within like I think the first 2 weeks in October.
Holy shit.
yikes,
It's gonna be a lot.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's been the strategy is overwhelm.
Yeah.
And this is like at the same time all this DC KO shit's happening too.
But that feels so tempered and tame compared to this. It's 5 issues.
But
It's
think
like,
about like I'm reading both, so it's going to be
Right.
overwhelming for me no matter what.
Sure. Maybe this era will reset the line.
No.
It's gonna be exactly like Age of Apocalypse. It's gonna happen where there's gonna be some time travel shenanigans to prevent this future from happening, and then maybe one or two aspects of it will be transferred to the main line.
Yeah, completely. Like Doug will probably have major repercussions out of this. I gotta figure we see Apocalypse because it's just been so long since we've had Apocalypse.
He was in the one with Ryan North. He was on the cover.
Yes, yeah, yep. So that'll be cool. But outside of that, what
Yo,
is this?
After this, Doug's gonna get thrown in the pit, dude.
The Kokosi?
Yeah, man, he's out. He's gone. That's it. My man can't be outside.
Are these one shots? That's a great question, and I unfortunately don't. I personally don't know the answer. I don't know if they've told us explicitly, but I don't know the answer.
I don't imagine any of these going beyond 3.
You think?
Yeah, the pitches don't feel like one shots, but they also don't feel long term
No.
either. So I'm with Tyler. I would imagine the max is 5, but probably somewhere in that 3 to 5.
I bet you they're like if it's at 3, like if these are 3 issues, maybe 4, then that means January they can start a whole new line of new number ones.
What's that magic number? The ramp that Brevoort gives these books? 6, 8.
1 month.
So it's not Brevoort, it's Dan Buckley, and he gives them 10. But these are different from that because
Yeah.
these are just tie-ins. So Uncanny Suit, I don't think you want that, bro. He said, I wish someone would throw me in the Krakusi. I don't think you want. Did you see what happened to Sabretooth, man? That
And
shit was rough.
And I say, I don't kink shame. If you're
Oh,
a devore,
it's king.
You're trying to save you. Trying to save you. Sean, did you cover X-Vengers?
X-Vengers? No, we didn't get to that. Where is that? Where do you have
oh
that?
yeah, there's more.
That's it. That's right after it was Undeadpool, Cloaker Dagger. I have it up.
Go for it.
Written by Jason Liu, art by Sergio Davila. Earth's mightiest, hated and feared. X years later, Earth still needs the Avengers, but what happens when those who are left have transformed into mutants? Danny Moonstar leads a new team of Avengers: Hawkeye, Vision, Water Widow, Shang-Chi, Variable Man, and Cannonball to protect the planet. But can these, quote, X-Vengers protect all of Earth, including the Revelation territories?
I mean, Danny Moonstar holding Cap shield is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know why. I don't know what Hawkeye having extra arms does for his arrow capabilities. I guess he can shoot 2 arrows at once now.
He has like 2 bows at the same time. Yeah.
Sure, why not? I think Shang-Chi maybe needs to go to a dermatologist with the way he's looking on that one, but sure, why not? Also, how does the Vision mutate?
I was gonna say.
He looks like he might have a bit of what Warlock's made out of?
Yeah. I mean,
Phalanx.
maybe
Phalanx,
that's
that's
why.
what I'm
That's
thinking
probably
of.
why.
Sure. Again, why not? That's a Mike McCone cover, I think, which is like a very Avengers artist. Jason Liu did that Centuries book, right? And he also did Dazzler. Dazzler was fine. I think it was fine for what it was. But this doesn't light my ass on fire. That's not a phrase.
I like the Century book so little that I told myself I'm probably gonna have to avoid this writer, and
Oh, wow.
so I'm definitely keeping that edict going because there is nothing here other than Danny Moonstar leading the team that compels me, and these characters look fucking bogus, dude. Like this looks like if you were to go into a fucking a shop in Puerto Rico or DR or Mexico or whatever, and they're selling those fake ass toys.
Avengers got
Where it'll be
Batman
like
on it.
Batman, but he's green, or Captain America, but whatever. Like this looks like that to me,
Got
and
the
I
little
just go
the fucking Batman.
yeah. Or Superman, but it's clearly Captain America.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
shit like that. Like this gives me that vibe.
Also, why does Danny Moonstar have the Cap shield from Toys R Us? Like it's just scaled wrong.
It's so little.
Yo, what the what is this?
Yeah,
A
the
baby
plastic
shield.
one. Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's a scaling issue there for sure.
Oh man.
I'll be reading it though. I already made the oath. I will be reading these. That's why I'm hoping they're one shots.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Marco, is there more? I think there's.
That's all I had.
Okay, yep, that's the last one I have too. Cool.
Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah.
My final verdict is that this is not for me. I am happy for you if you think that this is for you. Hats off and enjoy. The event itself, the concept of the event, based on the issue 0, I'm into because I thought the issue 0 was solid and it got me kind of hyped. But these siloed stories, with the exception of 1 or 2 of them, don't really do anything for me. If I were going to read this stuff, I would just read the Jed McKay stuff and Eve Ewing's book, and I would leave it at that.
Wow, somebody clip that.
Hey, until it sucks.
Sure, yeah.
Until it sucks.
Amazing X-Men #1. We see a new team of evil mutants.
His only trick. It's his only trick.
You gotta read his Moon Knight run. It's so good.
I'm just so burned by Jed McKay's Avengers and Blood Hunt.
Man, Blood Hunt really fucked you up.
Yeah, Blood Hunt was
A tie-in for a movie they can't even make.
Word. Like, what was the point of all that shit? All that vampire focus, and now the movie's never going to come out, allegedly, supposedly. Yes, I hated X of Swords, Shub Patel. Yes, I did.
That's right. You were a
I
fan.
despised Ten of Swords.
He despised it so much. He double dipped on a massive, massive edition.
Do you still have it, Sean? Is it within arm's reach?
Yes.
Shub, this is how much he hated it. He
that's
has
not arm's
2
reach.
copies.
Yeah.
Yo, is this really 16 books?
Yeah, that's why
disgusting.
I can't imagine it's anything larger than 3 issues each. Ooh.
I have in my hand the Ten of Swords omnibus hardcover, whatever you want to call it. I bought this because it went on sale on Amazon before the actual event concluded. It was even before it started, actually.
Yeah.
And I was so sure that I was going to love it because of how Krakoa pilled I was that I bought this shit sight unseen. It was only like $30 or $40.
Yeah, when you get those
So I was like,
Amazon pre-order guarantees, sometimes you just gotta jump on it.
Yeah.
I was like, all this for that? Sign me up. Why? Why? This has more value as a bludgeon. Let somebody try to invade my fucking space. Bang! 10 of swords. I'll fuck you up as bad as this book fucked me up.
I like the idea. Bang, Tangosaurus. Bang, Exo.
Yep.
Yo. I just did some quick math. Out the gate, this is $80 to pick up all the
Minimum.
books. Minimum. I assumed a $4.99 price point.
Yeesh.
Mm-mm.
Yeesh.
That's a lot of bread. That's too much bread.
Each week? Or no, not
Yeah.
each week. Once a month, I guess. Just like for a good week. Damn.
I know, Last Young Renegade. I could sell it for over MSRP, but here's the thing. I didn't buy it to make money. I bought it to collect it, and to reread it. Will I ever reread it? It's clearly in the shrink wrap, so who the fuck knows? But I need to have it just in case. What if we do a book club? What if we do a Krakoa revisit? I got it all in one place. I ain't bringing that Krakoa back out. That shit's in storage. I ain't bringing it back.
The store Koa.
Yeah.
I had to. Gavin Guidry, I just got the Neil Adams DC Artist Edition. I can definitely kill someone with that beast. Yeah,
You can
that's
probably
a
surf
hefty
on that
tome.
thing too.
That is a hefty tome. Cole, 1A, 1A, 1A. If you know, you know. That's funny. It's a Superman reference, the movie.
Marco, did you see it?
Huh?
Yeah.
Damn, fake fan.
Oh, you
Yeah.
better get on that, dude.
I think it might be tomorrow.
No, you're going tonight.
Okay. Nah, Entertain Me says $80. Sean, that's your normal spending habit.
Unfortunate.
Yo, it could be doubled that week. Well, actually, no, you dropped.
He's not getting these books. Are you kidding me? This is
That's right.
helping his wallet.
Yeah, this is the greatest thing of all time for my wallet.
It-
Oh shit, the X-Men suck. Wow, I get to drop 30 books. Great,
Done.
great.
I wonder what
Cosmic
the
November. Sorry.
I wonder what the opinion on Age of Apocalypse was like. Like I know podcasts like this didn't exist when it came out, but I wonder what the general opinion. I wonder if it was similar to this. Like, oh, I can't believe they're doing all these extra books that nobody cares about.
I wish I knew the answer to that, but I'm sure someone in the chat has to have that. I haven't seen any of our old heads. Where's Dan Trudeau? Where's Atomic Hound? Steve Canaris, where you at? Talk to us about the past. Let us know. How did that go?
I prefer the term
And also,
wise
sorry?
elder.
Elder. Well, I like old head more. I feel like that's more respectful for me because that's what I grew up with.
Okay.
Old heads.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the people in the hood that you listen to. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm wearing my lantern ring. Shit, I totally forgot. Damn it, Tyler.
Yo, you got your lantern ring too? That's crazy.
What the hell are you wearing?
You got an
I got my
IUD
lantern
on?
ring also.
What?
What do you mean? What do you mean? This is look at that.
Say the
yellow.
oath.
It's the well.
Damn.
He said, "Well."
Bro's wearing his Nuva ring.
I had to feel like I participated.
Yay.
Oh my goodness. Ben Loudly says AOA didn't have a shitload of tie-ins.
News to me. Yep.
Kyle says people were not happy about AOA at the time, but I don't have personal experience.
I don't know. I just pulled it up because I was curious. I got Excalibur, Gambit and the Externals, Generation Next, Astonishing, Amazing, Weapon X, Factor X, X-Man, X Universe, and then the one shots X Alpha and X Omega.
Man, Age of
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse got more X's than I do.
So that's not terrible. That's not terrible.
Like 10 titles, maybe 8, really?
Whatever it was, we're at double that.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. We've got one last news item to get into today, and it's a shorter one. It's a smaller one, which is why it's closing us out. We'll have more to say about this probably come San Diego Comic-Con, but Marvel is teasing Ultimate Endgame. And they're teasing it really hard. They want you to think about the movie, Avengers Endgame. They even put out a piece of art that is directly meant to remind you of the movie. This was done by Stonehouse, and it's definitely in the vein of Endgame. But we don't really know anything about this. It says it's coming December 31st, which is interesting and ominous. That is right at the time when the Maker is supposed to come out. So I think this is just the name of the Maker event.
Yeah, look at the U in the Ultimate on the title. It's the Maker's mask.
Ah,
Um, and he even has like in the movie poster image they put out. He's even in the Thanos spot.
yeah.
So yeah, I think this is just I think this is him hatching out. You know, I wasn't here for the end of the Ultimate Universe discussion, but my take is sure.
Damn.
The Ultimate Universe isn't my favorite thing right now. It really is like Ultimates I really like, and the other ones are like, yeah, it's fine. Um, but I'm okay if this needs to be something they do to get past their first phase of whatever this new Ultimate Universe was, and whatever happens at the end of this end game can set the status quo for what this world is going forward. I don't think it's going to get removed. I think it's just more like, hey, this is what it looks like outside of the Maker's control. Let's deal with that. There's more fallout, and there'll be more books and more titles to spin out of it. I don't think it's going to be the end of what people have been, generally liking. I think overall. So let's just do it. Pull the band-aid off.
I'm. I don't know what to make of this yet. I heard the news. I see the allegory here, but like, come on, man. Like, really? This was what it was all leading up to, and that's it. Like, I feel like I would be terribly disappointed if that's all that this was, and there wasn't like gonna be something after. We don't get to live a little bit more in this world.
But when you're saying all this was, what do you think this is? We don't even know what
Well,
this is.
He's saying that it could be the end of the Ultimate
right,
Universe.
right.
I don't think there's was Endgame the end of the MCU.
Well, let's hear Marco's perspective first.
Like, I would worry if it really was the collapse in the end, because then I would feel like that it would feel anticlimactic if we didn't get more out of this. And maybe let's assume that this is, or at least I'm assuming that this is, a final end, and they tell a cohesive story. Then I think I would need a reread of what this was across all these books to feel satisfied.
I was thinking that there was a chance that the Ultimate Universe could end after the Maker event. Now that they've shown us Ultimate Endgame, I definitely don't think it's ending. This just like it almost feels too on the nose that they're going to pivot.
It's just the end of a phase, just like Endgame was.
And it was the end game of those phases.
Yeah.
But not the end game of all of MCU.
Yeah.
So I think this is that.
And I wonder if there's a benefit to this too, where like we know Hickman was one of the creators of what the Ultimate Universe was at its inception, this version, but we also know Donnie was as well, and Donnie is not involved in this. And I wonder if a lot of what the Ultimate Universe changed because Donnie was never involved, even though his blueprint was there, and they had to kind of work around that in a way. I wonder if this is the chance for the actual creators that are on this book to reestablish what this world is.
I don't think that's the way the Ultimate Universe was put together. I think Donnie started the process, but I think he was out of the process long enough that
Early
what
on.
we're seeing is what they wanted to do. What the world looks like without the maker, that's a different question that I am very interested in knowing the answer to. Um, but only so long as it stays interesting. I don't want another OG Ultimate situation where they just kept the shit going way longer than it needed to. But if these books were to end in December or in the aftermath of the December event, so putting it at around 24-ish issues for Ultimate Spider-Man and everything else, that would just, it just wouldn't feel, it would feel way too soon. When I asked you guys a couple of weeks ago, do these books feel like they're on the road to ending? With every person said no. They don't.
Yeah, the only reason I bring up the Donnie Cates as well because he was seeding a lot of maker stuff in his books before his exit from comics or
Sure.
whatever.
Do you-
But yeah, I don't think any like the only one I can say that maybe seems like it could have an end is maybe Ultimate X-Men. They're telling a story there, and I can see an end to it happening. But yeah, no, this is just going to be a retooling, and there'll be new number ones. Like there's no reason, there's no way you can tell me Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man story is even close to being done. It's not even done with its first real beat, you know.
100%.
do you feel like what book has the momentum to continue without the maker? Because without the maker, Ultimates, I mean, unless you're gonna start telling superhero stories with that team, like that's the whole crux of what it is.
I think all of them work without the maker. I think the maker is a good device to keep things going, but the world doesn't end with the maker. Like the world is still corrupt, and the world still has a place for the Ultimates.
But is that of interest? Is that like for me? I don't know that that suddenly becomes an interesting pivot for a book like the Ultimates, and I feel like we don't have street level fights with Spider-Man right now.
I mean, the Ultimate still has the Red Skull of it all. It still has the Nick Fury and what that version of Shield is. So there's still plot points there. Um, Spider-Man works by himself. I don't think the Spider-Man has even mentioned the Maker outside of issue 1. Um,
I To me, I think each of the books that we currently have doesn't, it relies on the maker's lieutenants existing in the immediate moment, but they're also redefining who they are as people and as heroes. So that creates a compelling question in the aftermath of the maker. Like, I think what you're wondering, Marco, is exactly the right question. Who are these people when they don't have a singular human being to place their anger and ire towards?
Right.
Think about us, right? Like, we all, I'm not going to say names or whatever, but we all know who we're angry at in the world. We all know who the villains and enemies are in our real world. If they were dead, if they didn't exist, right? Who would we get angry at? To me, that's a very interesting question. These are disenfranchised heroes the lives they were supposed to live were stolen from them. They're angry. What do they do when the target of their anger is gone? Who are they now?
Who are they now? And I guess do they revert?
Do they revert? Do some people say, hey, I'm going to fill in the gap left by the maker? I'm going to step up. What happens with Doom and Tony? What's the fallout from that? I could see someone said we should do Ultimatum Part 2. How about Ultimate Fallout Part 2? Because there's going to be fallout from Endgame. And I am very interested in where this is going. I'm on record. I think this is going to be awesome. I haven't been as hot on the Ultimate line as I would like to be, but when they're hot, they're fucking scorching. And I think this will be great. Tell me it's Dennis Camp. Tell me it's I don't know, whoever on art. Tell me it's Gavin Guidry. Tell me it's Jonas Sharf. Tell me it's somebody big and I'm hot on it.
they
It's
didn't
definitely not
announce
gonna
the
be
creative
Shadow.
team, did they?
No, we don't know creative team yet.
No.
No. Yeah.
And I think it is kind of funny though, where like this is tying directly. It's evoking literally the MCU, and in a way, Dennis Camp has been doing that for the past year. You know, saying, "Oh, if you got to read this issue of Ultimates to know what's going on Doomsday when that was announced." So I don't know. I think it'll be Dennis Camp writing this. It'd probably be Camp and Hickman combo.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think it could be a lot of fun.
I think the propulsion that I'm feeling right now is for the Ultimates, and as long as that continues its forward progression, I'm locked in, and that's the book that we have to be reading as it most directly relates. So yeah, I think I'm excited still. It's definitely a matter of I'm curious to see what more they have after this because I do want more. I feel like we haven't sat in this in um, for certain characters and for certain books to live in the world outside of the month to month format.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of good can come out of the aftermath of this, and maybe these books will be free from the clutches of what Marco just talked about, and they can shuffle the deck a little bit. Um, yeah, Cole, that's a good idea. Oh, Marco, right on top of it. Awesome. I assume that was Marco.
That was me
Oh,
for once.
Tyler. Okay, I like that. Yeah, we got a poll up. Are you more excited for DC KO or Endgame? I know this is a DC podcast, or rather a DC audience. But I am interested in where you guys land with that. Uh Hayden in the Discord sharing that Donnie Cates has started a crypto situation.
He's writing a DC.
Duh.
Crypto with a C, unfortunately.
Well, that is tracking from what I've heard. So.
A next gen storytelling token from acclaimed writer Donnie Cates.
Yeah.
Built for comics, NFTs, and immersive metaverse experiences where myth, oh God, I almost threw up in my mouth, where myth meets blockchain.
Oh God.
Crypto comics?
That is so lame, dude.
I've been saying there's a reason he's not writing a DC or Marvel right now.
Wow. That's, did you guys see the other message that just came through in our chat?
No,
That's
what?
hilarious. I won't repeat it, but
Okay.
oh my God. That's so bad, dude. I do like Donnie Cates. I think he's written a lot of stuff that I've enjoyed a lot. But this is
So I'm
just
not
not
needed.
the way. This is just not the way, dude. Ugh. Lame. Lame, lame, lame.
Yep.
We've had a lot of big announcements, guys. San Diego Comic-Con, like this is the time as fans of comics, I feel like, to get really, really excited. We only have two tentpole events. New York's Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con. And this is the time when we rally. This is the time where we get really excited for these announcements. And hopefully, these publishers, not just the big two, they own today. They own the show today. My hope is that Image has some big things in the chamber to talk about come San Diego Comic Con. I want to hear big stuff from Boom. I'm really curious about IDW. They just launched Beneath the Trees. What other big bullets do they have left in the chamber? I am very excited going into this con season, and I think there's a lot of big announcements to come. I cannot wait to hear what the industry has to tell us and show us. And we're going to talk about it all next week. Everything that gets announced Thursday and Friday at San Diego, things that get announced on Saturday during the show, which probably won't be a lot because when we're live, it's like 7 a.m. for them.
Yeah.
But everything that we know about, we're going to dive into next week on the show. Get fucking hyped. If you can hear my voice and you can make it live next week, be here. It's going to be a massive show. We had over 100 today pretty consistently. I want that same energy. Keep that energy next week because it's going to be a bomb.
Maybe we can test out our new prop.
We can maybe test out our new prop.
Yeah.
We've got a do you want to well, you can see it in the
There's nothing
background of
on it.
Tyler's
Yeah, if you
shot,
look back
but
there, but
we've got a
above
wheel.
the hot dog bird.
Oh shit, nice. I didn't even notice
Kale.
that.
Kale lives with me now.
Oh my god, that's so
It's the
cute.
spirit of
He's
Kale.
a hot dog pigeon. That's
Yeah.
That's cool.
apropos.
Wait, how big is that wheel?
It's big enough. Hold on a second.
Was it? Okay, okay. Oh, I wasn't sure of like the right size for camera. Oh, that's good.
You're the one who bought it, Mark. I hoped you looked at dimensions. You know.
I can't visualize the dimension
Okay.
in like
Yeah,
the
it's
camera.
good enough. It'll work.
Nice. Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, chat, get fucking hype. I love the energy. I love it. Kurt Wildshut. Kurt, Kirkman is probably showing off Skinbreaker. Tynion always has a million things cooking. Skinbreaker's exciting. Very excited about that. We may have some Skinbreaker related things to talk about soon.
Yeah.
And what does Tynion have to say? You know, maybe something out of Rick Remender's camp, Giant Generator. How about Skybound?
There's still rumors of whatchamacallit happening. That's that Energon universe cartoon possibly being announced.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I really hope that happens.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I do think so.
I like this comment from Izzy's Issues. Can't believe Tyler wore pants today.
Rare, honestly, rare. I must have known
Rare
I'd be having
occasion.
to show my lower waist on the podcast.
And actually, it looks like people have been saying that Cates got hacked. Zauri Severino Jr. Cates was hacked. Stegman mentioned for this morning. First tweet I saw today.
Okay.
Whew.
All right.
Imagine, bro.
Although,
Okay.
well,
Thank goodness. I'm glad to hear that. And again, that's I shouldn't read things through. This happened twice now where I read something from the Discord that was not 100% accurate. I think both times it came from Hayden. So I got to stop reading Hayden tweets or Hayden Discord messages during the show. I feel like I'm being led astray.
he's on the news. Whether or not the
yes.
news is real.
Dude, you know what? In like 20 minutes, we're gonna see Donnie Cates doubles down.
I mean, look, it could be.
You could do like Kate's, but like the S is the dollar sign.
Yo, Kurt, yes. He says Wes Craig still hasn't announced his secret project. That's so true. He's got a Kickstarter. I want to get him on the show so damn bad. He's got a Kickstarter coming out for Thunderhead, and then he's also got a secret DC project that we still don't know anything about.
He's probably one of the artists on those Absolute books. He's the kind of artist that would work for Absolute really, really well, and did the that All In book. So we know he's okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about that for sure.
Hell yeah. So many things to be excited about, guys. This is our moment. This is our moment. And the films, fuck the films. There's going to be so little film stuff going on that we can really focus on core comics. Like I personally, me as a fan, would rather do this show and have hype things to talk about from the comic space than the movie space. Now, as a podcaster, it's always big when you got a movie announcement to talk about. But I like when it's just us. When it's intimate and it's us and we get to talk about these comic stuff, that's when I'm most excited. So, Shu Patel, yeah, Jeremy Adams on creator owned. I would love to see that.
Hell yeah.
He's not busy enough. As far as I'm concerned, Jeremy Adams isn't busy enough. He's got 2 books.
Yeah, he's been on
Needs more.
certain podcasts at least. So he's keeping himself.
He's on every pod. I see every podcast has a Jeremy Adams interview, except us.
You got New York Comic Con, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Jay saves demonized a little too quickly. Well, we were reserved. We didn't say anything,
Not me. I wasn't
crazy.
reserved.
I was reserved. It was a disappointing thing, but apparently it's not a true thing. So good for us.
Although if we ever did NFTs, comic bucks would kill.
I don't think it would.
It's never gonna happen. I'm just saying the name's there.
I think we would lose 90% of our audience if we jumped into an NFT.
100%. Yeah, you would lose 90%. We would lose the host. Actually, we would be hacked.
I want it'd be the Marco pals.
Yeah,
It'd be Marco and his AI chat box.
Also, look at him. He didn't even have a guttural reaction to that. He's like, yeah, probably.
no, yeah, well,
He's like,
so what would happen?
That tracks.
The show goes on. It is what it is. There must always be a comics pals. Might as well be me and my pod.
it must exist.
Just a minute-long podcast now. It's Marcus.
I'm just gonna have I'll have AI agents. I'll have you guys will be floating in the ether.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's putting all of our like Sean Eyes, maybe even Kale's opinions all into some kind of AI bot, so he can replace us down the line.
I've been putting the transcript into
I knew
Google LLM.
Whoa! I didn't consent to that.
It's part of our Google.
He's saying he was
our
in the
Google
fine print.
membership.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want I don't want AI having a transcripts of me. I decided, what the fuck? Who are you? Are you Elon Musk? This is fucking Twitter. You just unilaterally deciding that?
Did you read all
I
the
can
fine script of the contracts that Marco wrote, Sean?
no stop. I can ask it questions and be like, what did we say on this episode of the Comics Pals? Hey, it doesn't work well.
What the fuck, dude? This red flag is for you. I wish I had 50 of these bitches. You deserve all the red flags.
He
for that,
told us
my
about
friend.
this.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's for his data collection.
Yeah, so I can keep track of stuff better.
Marco gonna
Wow.
get AI
It's not working.
waifus instead.
Yo, that'd be crazy. The waifus?
I'm disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed.
Okay,
Nah,
Dad.
I'm mad. I'm mad and disappointed, Marco.
We're shifting to
crazy. See?
NFTs, bro. We're shifting to NFTs.
Oh, and next week we got to do the Fantastic Four review too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You're
Oh
busy.
my god.
Yeah.
Woo!
Big
Good
week.
call, dude.
You guys make sure you have your bootios in the morning. Eat your cereal. Make sure you're prepped next week because we got a long one.
I just want to shout out our number one chatter, the king of the day, Jay Sage, was the number one chatter. It's not today, Jay Sage. I'm sorry, but I am going to come up with a way to celebrate the King Chatter every single Saturday because
Okay.
I just love that thing that exists, and it took forever for us to get it, and I didn't know when we were gonna get it, so I didn't get to plan anything cool, and now we got it and I wasn't ready. But we're gonna do something to celebrate the number one chatter. No other channel does. We will, because I think that function is cool.
It's gonna be a GIF. It says "You dropped this, King," and it's that one of like the Hulk getting the taco to Paul. Why am I forgetting Ant-Man's name?
Paul Rudd? Not you're
Yeah, I
talking
was
about the
forgetting
character.
both his actor's name and the character's name. Yeah, Scott Lang. Scott Lang. I got there.
There you go. There you go. Because it's like Paul Rudd, Hank Pym, Scott. Like, there's so many names you could have
Ooh,
said right
we
there.
called him the
So-
King Omega. Let's just go for it, like Chop Harder says here.
There you go. Yeah, hell yeah. Jay Sage is the King Omega this week. Parker Luck, what's that? Matt Bird says, can I ask all of you, do you believe Marvel is in trouble if they do not grow their characters? Meaning, does Marvel need a change in leadership? We have talked about that, Parker, a lot on this channel. So we're going to keep those answers really brief. No, they are not in trouble if they don't grow their characters, and no, Marvel doesn't need a change in leadership in the sense that they're not going to see their numbers suffer for not changing or growing their characters. Marvel characters do grow and change, just not necessarily in the way that pleases everybody. And even though I am personally not thrilled with a lot of the editorial decisions that are being made, I am not the representative of comics fans.
Yep.
And what represents comics fans is the money they spend. And the money they're spending says they like what Marvel is doing. So what I say doesn't matter.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, Marvel is not broken, so why change?
Yep.
Sure, there are maybe little micro adjustments they can make, which they have. That's why Krakoa ended. You know, they are making their micro adjustments here where they decide they needed to be. They're fine.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, though. Before we get out of here, I do want to make sure to take the time to celebrate the sponsors of this show, who are you all, the listeners, the lovely, lovely listeners who make all of this possible. Thank you guys so much for showing up, supporting us. And, I want to make sure you know that we do this because our patrons mean the world to us and they put their money where their mouth is. But not everyone has money to put where their mouth is. And sometimes when they do, they have to turn that money into food to put it in their mouths. So this has nothing to do with alienating people who can't afford to support us. We love you guys too, but we do support those who support us back. So thank you to the Grand Alchemist, Chop Harder Alchemist, who was in the chat with us. Thank you so much, brother. Love you, man. John Barrier B, Doomsday David Melendez Doria, Steve Swarm Canaries, Panda, V Panda, Ted Wong, Blur, Jekyll Jose, Scripture, Wardens of the Word, Amin, the Almighty Perez, who was with us, Houston, the Century Kid Murphy, Peter, the Living Lightning Electrics, Lucas, Heatwave Holner, Young Dende, the Woody, the Fey Fighter, Shalom Warburg, Shalom Paladin Warburg, excuse me, Emily, the Mighty, McManus. Did I shout out Jesse earlier? Yes, I did. Jesse is owed a shout out. Chris, The Cure, Coleman, MD Johnny, whose intro, or rather, whose origin is coming next week. Garrett, Jack Cloutier. Thank you all so much for making this show special, for allowing us to do this. Really appreciate you. And to everybody who chooses us every Saturday morning or night or afternoon or whatever it is in your neck of the woods, thank you, thank you, thank you. Before we go, here are the results of the poll. 62% of you are more excited for KO, 37% are more excited for Ultimate Endgame.
That's about our Marvel DC split in a nutshell.
Sounds right.
All right, guys. The next time you will see us is Monday at 1 p.m. for Pals previews. Outside of that, Thursday, 6 p.m. for Pals pulls, and right back here Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern for the main show. Don't miss us. We will see you throughout the week. Until then, take care, guys.
Keep launching those tomatoes.